people in here 24 hours a day playing poker. I mean, it's always playing poker. I had no idea.
Well, and look, if you haven't been in the SA Card House, and I haven't been to this location since they've redone it, it's the old Luby's at 281 and Bitters. And I've got issues with Luby's to begin with, but I mean, just to walk in here, it doesn't have a Luby's feel at all anymore.
No, it doesn't look anything like a Luby's. That's for sure, except for the outside. The outside still does a little bit. But I know you've got your issues, and I appreciate that. But, man, I miss Luby's. Luby's was go-to for a good, fish plate or maybe a chicken
wasn't it
steak.
the Luann platter?
The Luann platter.
The Luann platter.
Fish.
Exactly. I mean, we're going to save money with dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're only going to get half a meal. I
don't know if they serve Luann platters here at the SA Card House, but you can't eat.
You can't eat. Yeah, exactly. They got the bar and grill here. I mean, for fun, they should come up with some sort of Luann platter, although I imagine Luby's has that trademark, so you've got to come up with like the Suan platter, something close to, but not quite the same, and maybe you get a full meal with it.
Well, yeah, and I love it. They got a full bar over here, nice folks serving up drinks, and it's a good place. Good place, nice.
It's also a Wemby Wednesday, and it is. This is the first Wemby Wednesday in which Wemby will be playing a basketball game tonight.
Yes, it's amazing how that works.
Yes, this is the first game day Wemby Wednesday.
Now Wemby is supposed to play tonight. He didn't play on Monday against the Rockets. Scheduled to play a little bit tonight. It is still preseason though, and I'll get excited come next Wednesday because that's when the regular season kicks off.
And you think about though tonight's game worth paying attention to on this Wemby Wednesday. It is preseason as you've said, but tonight is the first night that Greg Popovich has all players available to him. So I do think tonight, at least in a game situation, we have an opportunity to, at the very least, get some idea in what Pop is thinking about rotations, where players are going to be, what positions they're going to play, all those different kinds of things, because, this is the first one where everybody's available. And so I think tonight could be an interesting one to watch. It's almost like, in the old days in the NFL, you had the 4 preseason games. That third preseason game was the one that you at least paid attention to in the first half.
Yeah.
Tonight has that third preseason game feel to it, from the sense of you might actually learn something watching tonight's game. Because of that, we'll talk with Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News about tonight's Spurs game. Jeff will join us coming up at 5 o'clock from the Frost Bank Center.
Well, that'll be fun to talk to Jeff. It always is fun to talk to him. But, yeah, a lot of excitement, obviously, about Wemby. I'm just like, preseason is preseason. I don't give a damn about preseason.
Yeah.
Now, next Wednesday, I'll be excited. That's the day I want to see it because and I think the Spurs lineup's going to be a work in progress for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Because I think Pop's going to experiment and do some things. So, next Wednesday, I'll get excited. Tonight, it's like,
and look, I imagine a lot of you are going to be like me tonight. If the Astros-Rangers game is front and center most of the attention, if you've got that.
The Astros are done anyway.
Oh, shut up. I mean, look, depending on what happens tonight, maybe. Rangers get a win tonight, and yeah, it's all but done. But the Astros have been road warriors. And they've got to be able to go in to that Globe Life and get a win tonight, a place that they have had a lot of success this year against the Texas Rangers. They're a bad home team, which is weird.
That's weird.
It is so, during the regular season, down the stretch, all of it with Houston, it looked like they righted it early in the postseason, and of course to close out the year to win the division, which, they won the division, and the jokes were there, is this really a good thing? Because now you'll have home field, because they have been so road dominant. They're going to need to be that road dominant team tonight. And quite frankly, those bats have to wake up tonight for the Houston Astros. And from that standpoint, you started to see it in game 2. They were down early big to the Texas Rangers, and they came back. They made it a game. but in a bases loaded, no out situation, they couldn't come up with a hit.
That was the key. That was the turning point in that game. I think they had 3 solo home runs in that game too, but just could not chip away enough. And who knows? Maybe they get their bats going. Maybe they don't. The Rangers are the hottest team going, with the exception maybe the Philadelphia Phillies, who
they scored again,
are just destroying Arizona. And we figured that was going to happen. So whoever wins that Texas-Houston series is going to be taking on Philadelphia. I think we're pretty safe in assuming that.
I was talking to my daughter today who lives in Phoenix. And as that series gets ready to shift to Phoenix, I asked her if she was going to one of the games, and she's like, well, I mean, some friends, there's ticket prices are all over the place. Like right now for game 3, it's like $50. She said, but you can get a game 5 ticket right now for like 12, right?
Yeah.
But there might not be a game 5 is kind of the problem. Right. But it's like, hey, go to a game. I mean, go have fun. But watching the Philadelphia game last night, and as much as I don't like most things in Philadelphia, with the exception of a cheesesteak from Mishka Bibbles or Jim's, man, those games look like a lot of fun. The games at that ballpark in Philadelphia, and I don't remember it being that way last year when the Astros went in there and won the World Series, but this year, for whatever reason, those games, the atmosphere just looks incredible.
Now, I was listening to Greeny earlier today, and he was talking, I guess he's got a couple of guys on his staff that are big Phillies fans, and they were telling me that the cheapest ticket you could get last night was $300. And that was for standing room only.
Yeah, I believe that.
So
in Philadelphia?
Yeah. In Philly, yeah. So
wow.
It was going nuts. They were having a good time, and they made the comparison to Arizona, the $50 ticket you're talking about, but there's upper deck right field for like $13 that you can still get.
Well, it's interesting because you think about, like, was it 2 summers ago when I was out there? I saw Shohei pitch and hit, although he didn't hit a home run, but 2 doubles off the wall. But we got our tickets for, I don't know, $10 or $15, and we had great seats, lower level, right down the first base line. It's, baseball in Arizona is an afterthought, and it's kind of sad. They're in the NLCS, and it still kind of feels like they're a bit of an afterthought.
Well, they are. That's why I think if Erica wants to go to a ball game, she's not going to have any problem getting a ticket, unfortunately, for the Diamondbacks. But look, even the biggest diehard Diamondback fans didn't think that they'd still be playing today.
This is true. You can't get a Suns ticket to save your life.
No.
But you want a Diamondback ticket? Where do you want to be? But in the NLCS, you would think at least the bandwagoners would come out.
And that's a beautiful stadium, by the way.
It is.
It's Chase Field, I think, isn't it now? Something like that.
It might
One of those
be.
credit cards.
I mean, I remember when it was the Bob,
Yeah.
What a bank of whatever.
Bank of,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Corporate Shield Stadium number X in downtown Phoenix. Or it might be Talking Stick because they've got everything else. They've got everything else there in Phoenix. Speaking of Talking Sticks, Micah Parsons in his podcast. And I love everything about Micah Parsons except his podcast.
Oh, sorry. Did we have Micah's podcast on just then?
That was Micah.
Yeah.
Whining.
Oh, my gosh.
Whining. Welcome to being a part of the Dallas Cowboys. This is what it's like when you're a part of America's team. And Micah Parsons still does not have the memo. We'll dive into what he said coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Life moves fast. No one has time for a car, truck wreck, or commercial vehicle accident. At Davis Law Firm, we get it. When you call the force, you don't have to worry about insulting offers from insurance adjusters, property damage, or car rental. With over 25 years experience, we have secured important verdicts and settlements, some in the millions of dollars. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car, truck wreck, or hit by a commercial vehicle, call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember. 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Get yourself a Connecticut water system. I'm a huge fan of Connecticut water softeners. These things are quiet, efficient, reliable, and non-electric. But the best part is you'll save money when you own a Connecticut water softener. And I know, living in the hill country, you folks have some serious hard water that can cost you major money in cleaning supplies and wear and tear on your appliances. Plus, Connecticut water softeners are guaranteed to remove more impurities and perform with lower lifetime costs than any other softener on the market. Connecticut is a great choice for folks that are fed up with their old junky water softeners. So for the best water softener in the business and to save money, call Connecticut today.
This is Chris Knipper with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try the Connecticut water softener for 90 days, absolutely free. Connecticut is simply the best water softener you can buy, and that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Is your AC working but the house is still uncomfortable? Call Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. Your AC cools, but it can't defend against humidity alone. Take control of your home comfort with a whole home dehumidifier and save $3,000. Plus, you can save up to $2,500 on a furnace and AC made by Carrier. Turn to the experts and installed by Airtron. Call today for same-day estimates and next-day installations. Visit Airtron.com for terms and conditions. Savings cannot be combined with any other promotion. License number TACLA 000-39898C.
Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue is the best barbecue in San Antonio. Tailgating or game watching? Build your own barbecue group pack with sliced brisket, turkey, pork loin, or meats of your choice, and all the classic barbecue sides. And let Smoky Mo's take care of the food while you cheer for the team. Early kickoff? Make everyone happy with Smoky Mo's breakfast taco boxes for a crowd. This season, we'd love to see you at our 7 Smoky Mo's locations, or order for pickup or delivery at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Thursday on R&R in the Morning, the Jags versus the Saints. Will Trevor Lawrence be able to go? We break down the Spurs versus the Rockets Part 2. And did those Rangers take a 3-0 lead in that series versus the Astros? Now back to the Blitz. Jason, get Tri-County to put together that Dak pack. Put it on your back, take it home, put it on the tray, and eat it up. Dak pack. Sounds good.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty good deal to me there at Tri-County Meat Market. I mean, there might be somebody on to something genius there.
You know, I don't know who that guy was yesterday, but that was funny as hell. It was funny as hell. And, yeah, I mean, if Joe's listening in Tri-County, that might might be okay.
Absolutely.
The Dak package.
Absolutely. Although,
what would that entail? Maybe a little kielbasa?
I mean, you just hope it doesn't get intercepted from the meat counter to the register. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Rudy's got jokes. I'm surprised Rudy's not here with us at SA Card House.
He'll be here.
I'm sure he will. But look, you can be here with us as well. 281 and Bitters Road. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You got to figure Micah Parsons would be all in on that special package from Tri-County Meat Market as well. Because, here's the thing, right? And it's funny because I've said, earlier this year, Dak Prescott has become politics. I mean, it's politics or religion at Thanksgiving. No matter what you think, right? Yeah, nobody's going to say anything that changes your mind, and you start talking whether it's good or bad. Like he had a solid game the other night, but people don't want to give him credit for it.
Well,
or it's not good enough, or whatever it might be.
No. You throwing around the word. It was a great game.
It was a great game.
It was not. It wasn't a great game. It was a good game.
Well, look, your definition of great.
Game.
I mean, no interceptions. He was high efficient. He ran the ball extremely well.
Boy,
he kept a lot of plays alive.
Low for Cowboy fans.
Well, I mean, compared to the week before, that was a great game.
Wow, it was a good game. Nice win.
See, and that's
good
it.
Game.
You cannot compliment the guy and be fair.
No,
it's not just you, but it's everybody. I mean, if you're anti-Dak, no matter what he does, I mean, if he was 29 of 30, but that one miss was that Tony Pollard pass. You see, a good quarterback would have been able to connect on that.
Yeah, you know what? If Dak has a great game in my eyes, I'll let you know. Look, if he throws 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, that's a great game, and they go get a win. Hey, I'm going to say Dak had a great game. The game the other night was pedestrian. It was good,
man.
But they got the win. But it wasn't a great effort by Dak Prescott.
It's funny because there's a lot of comparisons to say him and C.J. Stroud, and I was told C.J. Stroud had a great game against New Orleans.
I didn't say that.
You did not, but we've heard that. You've seen that. And yet he threw an interception, his first. He didn't have as many completions. His yardage wasn't there. But his game was considered great because of how he bounced back after throwing that interception. Everybody has a different level of what is considered great for them. And I think Dak is at an unattainable level for what's considered great at this point in his career. Now, if you're a Dak guy, you can say what your opinion is. If somebody disagrees, no matter what, it's there. And Micah Parsons goes on his podcast complaining about being mad at people bashing his quarterback.
I'm just calling out the BS because I'm tired of people trashing my quarterback. I'm tired of people trashing my team. And that's why I had nothing to say to the media this week. I just wanted us to say, you want to hear me talk? Come to hear me talk on The Edge Monday night. And that's just what it's going to be. Because I have nothing to say, because if you're just going to take one game and say, this is who I am, then I have nothing to say to you. Because in life, that's just not how it is.
Well, first of all, Micah Parsons a spoiled brat. Okay, can we get that out? I mean, the guy's a spoiled brat. All right, that's the first thing. Second of all, look, you got to have a little thicker skin, Micah. And if you're going to, I'm not talking to the media, I'm going to take my toys and go home. I mean, come on, dude. Stop it. You're a professional football player. Act like it. All right, you go on a podcast and you start whining about the media. I'm not talking to them. They're mean. They're just all mean to my quarterback. Stop.
Everybody's mean to his quarterback. And apparently, and it was, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks ago, he put it on social. He's at some event. Some little kid, maybe 8-10 years old, is trashing Dak. And he's blaming the parents for the influence they have on the kids, which is entertaining. Dak Prescott knows what comes with the territory. He's been in the league long enough. He's in year 8. He knows no matter what he does, he's going to get criticism, right? You can go out and win. It isn't pretty enough. And that was not a pretty win by any stretch for the Dallas Cowboys. And winning an ugly game, a lot of times actually more impressive than when you go out and you completely dominate a team like they did at the New York Jets or the New England Patriots, because those games look too damn easy. When you fight and you pull one out the way that they did, to me, that's more impressive. And a big reason they were able to pull that one out, Dak got that game-winning drive, set up the field goal. That defense, with over 2 minutes to play, had to come up with a stop, and they did because of the sack Micah Parsons got late. His only sack of the game, and he described it on his podcast.
Let's look at my sack in the final draft. Let's take us back to this play. What was going through my mind? So literally, we was running 4-man games. Obviously, they were sliding, chipping, things like that. And I was like, man, if we get an opportunity, we should go to a 5-man pressure. And you can see J-Ron Kurtz coming off the edge. I knew I would end up getting a one-on-one with a guy that I knew I could beat. I just hit it relentlessly. They still try to come, double team me, but I just was able to break through and get the crucial sack that we needed to help in the game. Because then, of course, my guy, Gilly Lock, the guy that came to help us win the Super Bowl, came over and ended the game, and that's what he do, man. Gilly Lock's a legend, Hall of Famer. And, he told me when he's at the coach, he was thinking about coming over here. I got excited. But, man, I'm so glad he came over here. The wisdom, the type of guy he is, bro, I couldn't be more happy to play with a guy like that.
He's talking about Stephon Gilmore, obviously, who got the the interception that ended any chance for the Chargers to come back in that game. Look, I find it funny, and I appreciate the breakdown. But did she leave because of me?
Yes. Yes.
She's like, I've had enough of that dude. I appreciate the breakdown of the sack, but it was Troy Aikman was calling him out. Man, they've handled Micah Parsons. He hasn't done anything. All of a sudden he gets a sack, and it's like, oh, wow, Micah, he's the greatest. The dude hasn't done anything in the last 2 weeks. Nothing.
See, that's not accurate.
Oh, my gosh. Of course it is.
Well, it's not. I mean, he got a lot of pressures on Justin Herbert, which was speeding up the clock. Did he get home? Did he get the sacks? No. His pressures in the fourth quarter were up there. And again, as a pass rusher, you get the credit for the sack. And if you don't get a sack, you've done nothing, right? But that pressure, getting Justin Herbert off his spot, making him scramble, making him speed up things, those are things where Micah Parsons is impacting a game, even though it's not coming up on a stat sheet and the announcers aren't saying his name. We played that clip yesterday. Troy and Joe Buck were talking about it. Boy, Micah Parsons, we haven't called his name a lot. Boom, sack, right on cue is the words right out of. Doesn't mean he didn't do anything or have any impact on the game.
So what do you think, he was waiting for them to talk mean about him or what?
Yeah, he's got the earpiece in his head.
I'll show Troy and Buck.
It's like you saying, where has DeMarcus Lawrence been? And then you pull up the stats, and DeMarcus Lawrence is having a phenomenal year.
If you don't do what we do, if you don't follow things the way we do, if you're just a casual fan, you watch that game, you say, man, Micah Parsons had a bad night. DeMarcus Lawrence had a bad night. That is true. Okay, but that's 90% of the people. That's 90% of the people. So perception is reality, is it not?
Well, no.
Of course it is.
Well, I mean, perception might be reality for you until you go do a little bit of homework and go,
well, who's going to do that?
Well, that's what you and I are supposed to do.
Joe Blow sitting at home is not going to say, well,
but Joe Reinagel sitting on the radio should be able to say, you know what? I know it didn't look like much, but this dude had a major impact on the game.
There should be a Micah Parsons package, too, at Tri-County. Let's get that there as well and make Jason really happy. Dude, as the guy is supposed to be. He had some pressures. Okay. He impacted the game that way. Okay. Justin Herbert is a pedestrian quarterback. Can we say that? Yes. Well, when you get him in trouble, you've got some pressure on him. He struggles.
I mean, there are people on this radio station named Rudy J that would trade Justin Herbert for Dak Prescott tomorrow. There are some people on this radio station named Rudy J that thinks Justin Herbert's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, or at least he did going into that game.
Well, I don't know why, because he hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything.
But when you're talking about a Prescott going into year number 8 and a Justin Herbert going into year number 4, I can see where Rudy might want to make that change, because you hope that you're in the league for 8 years. You might improve instead of digressing the way Dak Prescott is.
You want an Ultima or an Accord? It's the same damn thing.
Look, I'm just saying, 8 years versus 4 years, Herbert's still got an opportunity. Dak, he's kind of getting to the end of it, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, look.
Wow, I didn't expect that, Sheldon. Did you?
Look, I since last January, I would have passed on the Dak package a long time ago.
So you wouldn't take Justin Herbert right now for Dak Prescott?
They're the same dude.
I'm just asking.
They are literally the same guy. So no, and it's no to Kirk Cousins. They're all the same guy. Right?
Well, I'm so happy that you've come to that conclusion.
Are you an idiot? I've been saying that for 7 months.
Wait a minute. Kirk Cousins? You used to get very insulted when I would compare Dak to Kirk Cousins.
No, I would say, would I want Kirk Cousins over Dak? And the answer is always no, and that's what's insulting. They're the same guy.
But
nobody ever says to you, would you want Patrick Mahomes over Dak? Nobody ever makes that comparison. Everybody is all the same.
You
want this guy, that guy. Patrick Mahomes over Dak? Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
I mean, it's comical.
They might take away your Dak Prescott fan club card.
That card is not in the wallet. He is not Tony Romo. But you hear little pieces, kind of like you're watching a game, going, well, he didn't have a sack, so he must not be doing a damn thing tonight. He was just taking the whole day off, stealing money from Jerry. I mean, Dak Prescott, it will be the quarterback moving forward, as I have said a gazillion times, because of the contract that he signed. Jerry is over the barrel. It's not that I want him to maintain being the quarterback. I just don't see a way Jerry doesn't re-sign him because of that cap hit. So I just deal in reality that he's our quarterback moving forward. What can the Cowboys do to win with Dak, which is what they are trying to do, which is why they put so many resources towards the defensive side. Why they brought in a guy like Brandon Cooks, while they are trying to add weapons around Dak Prescott.
And they did that, right?
Yeah.
They did that. But they've got some issues there. Look, Dak Prescott he's an average guy. He's an average guy. Justin Herbert, and I think, and I won't speak for Rudy, he can speak for himself, but I think what he's talking about is, look, at least the upside. He's got 4 years to surpass a Dak Prescott.
So is year 8 the cutoff? Like, all right, well, he haven't gotten it done in 4 years.
No, obviously not.
I mean, Justin Herbert, how many playoff wins does he have? How many division titles does he have? How many Pro Bowls does he have? And I realize when you're in the AFC in the same division with, I don't know, some guy named Patrick Mahomes, division titles and Pro Bowls probably aren't going to be there. But playoff losses, I mean, in 4 more years of the same thing that you're getting from Justin Herbert, do you say, okay, well, I guess he's not the guy?
Well, I'm just saying, he to me, he hasn't improved. And I said this yesterday. Justin Herbert from year 1 to year 4, I don't see any improvement.
So you think there'll be improvement in year 5 or 6 all of a sudden?
I don't know, but he's still got 4 years to go to catch up with Dak. Look, Dak Prescott was good his rookie year. He was really good, but he hasn't gotten any better. And in fact, I think he's taken a turn the other way. And maybe the injury had something to do with it. And I'm not sitting here making excuses for Dak, but
I think
the fact of the matter is he hasn't gotten better.
I think last year with the interceptions was awful, right? But outside of that, he's been pretty consistent with yardage, completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio, minus the interceptions from last year. So 6 of the 7 full seasons that he has played have been pretty consistent.
Is he worth $50 million a year?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter when you look at the current state of NFL contracts. I mean, because we can look at a lot of guys from Kyler Murray on down that because you're next, you're getting paid, and the contract that he currently has and the cap hit next year.
These owners are going to have to wake up.
I mean, that's it.
They got to wake up.
Robert Jimenez on YouTube, I think, has it right. He comments, stay in a bad marriage because it's cheaper to keep her. And I think that's what Jerry is looking at that cap hit next year. it's going to be interesting. And obviously, until the Cowboys actually do something with that contract, it's going to continue to be a talking point. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, live out at the SA Card House, 281 and Bitters Road.
We're gambling.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, poker's being played. There's a full bar. There's a restaurant. Joe is here. He'll scream hump day in your ear if you want and make you leave. You did. I mean, and that's not the scenery you want walking away. I mean,
yeah, compared to the card has a bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say the top of the medal stand has left the building. Right? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, you look at that now. See, the Cowboys, because of NFL contracts, are kind of stuck with Dak Prescott. Texas A&M, because of his buyout, you would think might be stuck with Jimbo. But they could find $67 million in the couch cushions. How hot is the seat for Jimbo Fisher? We will dive into that next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning is Thursday night football. Jags, Saints. Will Trevor Lawrence be able to go? And Rockets, Spurs, part 2.
Yeah, the Spurs and Rockets are going, but can I hear Jeremy Sohan say something else? Yeah, Bezos football, we're talking that and a whole bunch of college football. Games that matter, they ain't sexy, but they're important. We're talking about it. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Draft the ultimate lunch lineup starting at $7.99. Choose from a combination of half sandwiches, soups, salads, and more. Only at Twin Peaks.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899 and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number M16004, TACLA 000743445E.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
It's the Hendon Mob Series. It's the Fall Classic Series. 11 different events going on now, all the way through October 22nd. You know I'm only talking about one place. You know I'm talking about SA Card House, the premier card house in San Antonio, and their Fall Classic Series is going to be a doozy. We're talking about big-time no-limit hold'em tournaments. Also, they're going to keep the free roll in there for the little guys like myself, but we're talking about 1,000 guaranteed, 15,000 guaranteed, 50, and all the way up to 200,000. SACardhouse.com. Check it all out yourself. It is the premier card house. And when you're playing this much poker, you know you're going to have to get over to Foster's Bar and Grill, get you a little something to eat, get you a little something to drink to kind of refuel yourself. Check it out at SACardhouse.com. The Hendon Mob Series is the Fall Classic Series at the premier card house in San Antonio. SACardhouse.com. SACardhouse.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
O'Reilly. Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Smoker's Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. Now with 15 area locations, including the newest location at South Cross and Highway 37. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
It's the Awesome Tickets Pro Football Pick'em Challenge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your shot at $50,000 nationally, while weekly winners locally get a $50 gift card to 5 Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks. At the end of the season, locally, the best overall record wins the San Antonio Grand Prize of $1,000 worth of tickets to any event from Awesome Tickets. Sign up today at sasportstar.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live at the SA Card House, 281 and at Bitters Road. You can always be a part of the show. You can dial up 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel 210, at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
Yeah, just in case, I throw this out there, and maybe I shouldn't, but yeah, a little friendly competition between the fellas in the morning and us. So who can get the most subscribers? So help us out, will you, and subscribe.
Or not. I mean, because apparently we're getting Taco Bell as the reward.
No,
so
we're not.
There's really no incentive at that point. When I saw that, I was like, well, the hell with that. I mean,
I actually like Taco Bell.
Well, I mean, you like Dairy Queen tacos too. So, I mean,
I do. They're delicious.
When we were told lunch, I was thinking Ruth's Chris or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
or at least,
go Longhorn Cafe, go somewhere, right? Get a good burger. I mean, hey, what's your Taco Bell order? Come on, man.
You know what we make here.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris, yeah.
I know what Jimbo Fisher makes, and I know how much money it's going to take to make him go away. Bruce Feldman of The Athletic has an article about the coaches that are on the hot seat. And no surprise, Jimbo Fisher leads the way. After this season, it would be $67.5 million left on Jimbo Fisher's contract.
Well, that's like you and me throwing out $100. I mean, the Aggies got deep pockets. They'll find a way to get it done. They just get a little collection of the Aggie faithful over there, and they can take care of that in about an hour.
You know, I mean, one of the quotes in the article, Texas A&M will find the money to get rid of him if he can't get this thing going.
When is he when are they going to say he's getting it going? I mean, he's going to be 8-4 or 5 at best again this year. I mean, he hasn't done any better than that. He's in his 6th year with Texas A&M, and dude, he has done nothing. If I was an Aggie fan, I'd be furious.
The furious and frustration with Aggie fans that I know, because there is that sense of every year we have these recruiting wins. Like Mac Brown was, coach of the year every February.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But with the NIL money that is available to Jimbo Fisher and those Texas A&M athletes and the guys that they are getting, why isn't it showing up as wins? And I think this past weekend is a prime example. I picked A&M. I thought they could go in and beat Tennessee. That Tennessee team isn't the Tennessee of last year. They don't have Hendon Hooker. They don't have a couple of NFL wide receivers or a couple of NFL offensive linemen this year. I watched that UTSA Tennessee game, and while they took care of a banged-up UTSA team pretty handily, I'm looking at them, and I'm going back to that A&M game against Arkansas, where A&M was more physical than Arkansas, which I didn't think was possible. They were. Yet at Tennessee, they weren't. That second half, what they get, 3 points after halftime?
Yeah.
I mean, that was. Look, Bobby Petrino calling plays. Are you seeing much different than when Jimbo Fisher was calling plays? I thought Max Johnson was the better quarterback in August, so I can't even say, well, it's because Connor's not there, and they've gone on to quarterback number 2. And I do think Jimbo went with Connor to start with and not Max, because I think if he would have started Max at the beginning of the year, Connor would have hit the portal, which is one of the problems now in college football. Hey, Max Johnson's family, all of them have moved to College Station. That kid's not going anywhere. All right, you're going to be the backup. And Connor gets hurt. Now you're the starter, but you're seeing the same thing over and over. So when A&M will find the money if you can't get this thing going. It's been in second gear for the last 3 years.
Second gear, you're being generous. I mean, you're being generous. I just look. It's been a disaster there, and the biggest Aggie fan I know is Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning, and so he's very frustrated still. And I think he'd get rid of Jimbo today if he had $67 million or whatever the figure is. It's just time for a change. 6 years, you've done nothing. If you're Texas A&M. I mean, you're in the toilet. You're in the SEC, and you're not competing. And you got to find somebody that's going to get you there and be able to compete, especially with the likes of Texas and Oklahoma coming in next year.
Jimbo 0-8 on the road against ranked teams.
There you go.
And you've had some big wins, and their eye test being what it is. When it looks like you've taken that step forward, then it's a step back. You lost to Alabama, and that loss turned into 2 because you lost to Tennessee the following week, where you thought it might have been a little bit different. And apparently, you go back and, all right, what can they do differently? Because $67 million is nothing. No, another coach that's on the hot seat out of the Big 12, Dana Holgorsen there at Houston. Now, Dana might be on the hot seat, but he told Sam Kahn of The Athletic, quote, I have 5 years on my contract with an effing impossible buyout. So there ain't no effing hot seat in my mind. There just isn't. His buyout's $15 million. Tillman has that in his back pocket, too.
Oh, sure. Holgorsen, look, and he made those comments the other day about it doesn't matter if you go 1-11 as long as you beat Texas. He's going to get his opportunity this week, because that's who they play. And look, that's going to be that game's going to be over at halftime, I think.
Well, I mean,
depending on what Texas team shows up and how quickly they get started.
Well, see, and that's the problem. I know what Texas team is going to show up, and it's a slow starting Texas team. So it won't be over at halftime. Maybe by the end of the third quarter,
maybe,
because that is the way the Texas Longhorns play. And and Sark nowhere near the hot seat right now, although you lost to Oklahoma in a game that you should have won.
Yep.
It looked like Texas was back. You got up to number 3. You do have Arch sitting in the wings, ready for the SEC, and you just better hope that he's ready to go. But Sark, as they get ready to move to the SEC, you can't stumble and lose to Houston this week. You can't stumble, and you better hope you have a better outcome in the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma. I mean, so Sark still has an opportunity to save this season in that regard. I don't know that Jimbo does. And it's something about the month of October in the Aggies that, great September, expectations are high, although you talk to Aggies and, I don't know if Rob came up with this but he uses it a lot. It's where I learned it, battered Aggie syndrome. You just can't have nice things. So as soon as you start to feel good, you've got to keep yourself in check. I saw Rob last week and he was not feeling good about the Tennessee game. And I'm like, dude, I like them against Tennessee.
And he was right.
Rob was right.
So, fortunately for Jimbo, he won't lose this week. He won't win either.
You don't know.
Maybe.
He might.
That's a good time to make a change if the Aggies so desired to do that. They're 4-3 right now on the season. I mean, think about that. 4-3 right now on the season. And Jimbo Fisher, again, you said it just a few minutes ago, bragging every recruiting year, every February, what a great recruiting class that they've had. A lot of the so-called experts that rank those things, hey, man, they're top 5, top 10 all the time, and it's just not panning out. And at some point in time, you got to look at who's leading that bunch.
You look at the upcoming schedule for Texas A&M. They got the bye this week, and then Halloween weekend they get an 11 a.m. kickoff against South Carolina. That should be a win. But then you're on the road at Ole Miss, a road game against a ranked team. Not looking good. Mississippi State at home. Then they get another bye called ACU on the 18th, and then they close out at LSU. Can Texas A&M run the table?
No.
With those 5 games left.
Would you bet on them running the table?
No. Can A&M go 4-1 over those final 5 games?
Then they're 8-4 if they do that. 8-4. Is that good enough for the Aggies and their fans?
That's probably good enough to get back to the Texas Bowl.
That's it.
Well, you know what? If they go 3-2, they are Texas Bowl bound. But can they go get? And I think a lot can happen for Jimbo in a positive way if you can win at Ole Miss, if you win at LSU, right? If you can go win some of those big games and run the table. Then he's not going to get fired. Even if they finish at 8-4, get to 9. A 10-win season is out of the question.
I think it is. Ole Miss, you brought them up. Lane Kiffin, there's already rumors people are trying to get rid of him at Ole Miss already. And I think he's done a pretty decent job at Ole Miss and trying to turn that thing around. His problem is, though, there are some games that mean more than others. That's where Dana Holgorsen is right. He's absolutely right. You win those matchups. If A&M goes to LSU and knocks off the Tigers at the end of the season, that could save Jimbo Fisher's job. Well, some games just mean a little more than others.
And an Aggie friend of mine just texted and said, I'd kill for 8-4 at this point. Think about it.
Well, that's sad.
It is, because the expectation this year was it was going to be a 10-win season with all those recruits, with the addition of Bobby Petrino, the athletes that they have. And when I see A&M losing, they're not tough enough. And you can't go back to the Junction Boys days where Bear Bryant can drive them out to the sticks and put them through in a hellacious boot camp. But it almost feels like that's what they need to do. I
don't know what it is.
Well,
but really, what has Jimbo Fisher done? He won a national championship, but he won that championship off the back of who was the legendary
Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden.
He had some really good Florida State teams. He really did. And it's not like Jimbo's a bad coach. You don't get a contract like that if you're not. And, he replaced a legend, and replacing a legend and continuing to win is difficult to do. But I do think he bailed at the right time at Florida State. And again, with the blank check essentially that A&M was offering, why not? And they extended him. Oh, we had a good season. Here we go.
Right.
And the guy can get $67 million to go away, and Aggie fans will write the check. They'll have a GoFundMe, whatever it takes. They will make that they will make that happen. But then you read into it. It's a real article, and it's
it's a real article.
Look, I'm not making this up, but apparently, the new dietitian could be partly to blame for what's going on at Texas A&M.
Wow.
There is a headline, a legit headline, is fart fatigue to blame for Texas A&M's struggles. And so apparently the high-fiber diet that the new A&M nutritionist has these players on is causing fatigue and just way too much gas. And then there's video from the Tennessee game where they probably shouldn't wear white pants where a guy's skid marks are showing.
Well, some dude pooped his pants in that game. Yes.
Well, you can't trust a fart.
Well, you can't.
And if you've changed the diet and these guys are having gas issues and nasty gas issues, there could be something to that.
Well, maybe there is something. Maybe that's a new strategy for Jimbo. Just have everybody poop their pants, and then nobody's going to want to touch you. They won't want to tackle you. They won't want to do anything. So just feed them whatever you need to. Have them poop their pants, and you're golden. I think that's a brilliant strategy.
Farting fatigue.
Yes.
I didn't know that was a word. I've never read that in a sentence before, but Google it for you Aggie types that want to know about that diet.
Poopy pants.
It sounds awful. But then again, their season is becoming a skid mark on white pants.
Yeah, absolutely right.
It's the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, live at SA Card House 281 and Bitters Road. We'll talk some more Longhorns coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Bob Ballou will join us. Jeff McDonald at 5 o'clock talking Spurs. But coming up next, we'll have the headline Blitz, the NFL looking at outlawing another tackle.
Jeez.
Should they? Should they not? We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Football season means grilling season, and Five Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks is your one stop for all your tailgating and home gating needs. With one of the best grilling sections, Five Oaks Ace Hardware has a huge selection of Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg, and Blackstone, plus all your grill accessory needs with over 300 spices and rubs, over 20 brands of charcoal, wood chips, pellets, and everything you need for tailgating or home gating. Five Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks near Jones Maltzberger.
Now's the time to head out to your nearest Ewald Kubota dealer and get a great deal on a brand new Kubota M-Series tractor during the Ewald Kubota Inventory Reduction Sale. Get a feature-loaded M5, 6, or 7 with powerful engine options. And with Kubota, you get comfort, quality, and value. So get a great deal on the Kubota M-Series during the Ewald Kubota End-of-Year Inventory Reduction Sale. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Chris Brockman here from The Rich Eisen Show. And do you want even more excitement on game day? Yeah, you do. It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 6 players. You choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you can win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and it's easy to make your picks with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals. Prize Picks is the place to play. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your picks on the second half and fourth quarter stats. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/primetime, use code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer Wet Jet and just spray, push, all clean.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Howdy, Bobby Jenkins of ABC Home and Commercial Services. Trees can be one of your landscape's most valuable elements, and keeping them healthy is always money well spent. ABC's veteran tree staff is manned by ISA and Oak Wilt certified arborists, and we provide tree trimming, tree care, and tree fertilization services. Plus, if you're ever concerned about tree damage from wind or storms, give our specialists a call for a free evaluation. ABC Home and Commercial Services, specialists for your environment.
ABC Home and Commercial Services.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it is Wemby Wednesday, and the Spurs return to action tonight, looking to avenge their loss to the Houston Rockets on Monday night. They take on the Rockets again at the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. Major League Baseball, Rangers, Astros resume their best-of-7 series in Arlington for Game 3 tonight. You can hear that game on your home for Texas Rangers baseball, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, beginning at 6:30.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump
Here
day.
we go.
Hump day.
Hump day.
One more.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Boy, Joe Reinagel knows how to repulse women. All he has to say is,
Hump day.
Here we go. It's a Wednesday. San Antonio Sports Star.
My favorite day of the week.
It is his favorite day of the week. It's almost if he has something scheduled. But you look at the idea of what you do when you say
Hump day.
So earlier when we first started, there was a very lovely lady and
she had an appointment, for goodness sake.
She did not. She was sitting here getting work done, wearing purple like yoga pants. Very attractive.
I didn't notice. Yeah.
BS, right? Everybody here noticed, right? And she was getting work done. You started with your hump day. And then she put in earbuds, and I don't even think she finished her lunch. She just packed up and left. She just left.
I hope she paid the tab.
I mean,
Hump day.
You
and she probably said, "Give it to that goofball down there doing the radio show."
She probably
He'll pay
did.
for it.
That was. I mean, we've all had friends where you see them, they're trying really hard, and they just go down in flames.
I think she enjoyed it.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so.
Everybody's enjoying the hump day here at
I really
San Antonio Card House.
I don't think so.
No, they are.
Are they?
I just got a nice wave from that young lady right there. I mean, look at that. See, she's got a big smile on her face.
Exactly.
You see that?
Exactly.
Hump day.
Yeah, exactly. You know him?
Hump day.
Of course.
Where do you know him from? Oh, he dates a woman that you know.
Wait a minute. I wasn't even in town that day.
Don't tell your wife that.
No. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll talk later.
Well, you're turning red.
Woo!
Exactly. He used to do the weather over on Channel 4.
She knows better than that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Howdy.
Good Lord.
Howdy.
Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
The NFL is looking into banning the hip drop tackle.
You know, and when you look at that, you know, they outlawed the horse collar, right? And this hip drop is similar in a lot of ways. But my problem is that if they do that, I mean, defensive players now have so much to think about as it is. Now, can you imagine doing that one? And I get it. It's all about player safety in a lot of ways. But, man, I just don't know what a defensive player is supposed to do.
It's such a great question because can you coach players to not tackle that way? And when I think about a lot of those situations, like what injured Tony Pollard last year in the playoff game against San Francisco where, it broke his leg. And you see it so often, and you just always get up. All right, cool. Leg survived that.
Right.
Because the player's from behind trying to tackle somebody.
Well, he's jumping on the back if you don't, and I didn't know what it was until I saw it, jumping on the back and pulling the runner back from, and the legs get underneath, and that's kind of the issue there. Very similar to a horse collar.
It's essentially the horse collar tackle without reaching your hand inside the shoulder pads to gain some leverage. But at the same time, I don't know what you do with if you're a defensive player and a guy's behind you and you're trying to tackle him from behind, or if you're a smaller player trying to tackle a bigger player. And, Tony Pollard, not that big. Dak is a beast to bring down. And a lot of times if he's scrambling when he gets tackled, he's going to be tackled that way. Any bigger player, a Derrick Henry type, those kind of
Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. I mean, all of them,
because they are so strong lower body wise. Their legs. I mean, I don't know what you do if you're a defensive player, but I do know that at least. It's been a while since I've asked an NFL player this question direct, and I don't know how much it's changed. But to a man, I think all of them would much rather that a concussion he's taken out.
Well, yeah,
right? And,
of course.
And so, what do you do? I mean, we watch plays and you see that was helmet to helmet, and that's going to draw a flag. It's still football, and football is a dangerous, violent game. And you cannot take out all of the violence and all of the risk associated with the game. I don't know how you coach a player, you can't tackle that way. Because what they are doing now, I think, has been coached as an alternative to the horse collar. Guys behind you, grab on, and you're still trying to take out their legs to get them to the ground, because otherwise you're going for a long, embarrassing piggyback ride. Like if I tried to go tackle Derrick Henry. Right? I mean, think about it. And, you look at some of the defensive backs, they're not much bigger than you or I. Right? 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", under 200 pounds. If I tried to jump on Derrick Henry's back, he's just going to take me for a long piggyback ride. right?
He's going to have to hold him and get some help. But, I mean, the problem is if you're chasing a guy and you're trying to tackle him, prevent him from scoring, I mean, you're thinking in your head now, okay, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Where am I going to tackle him? What do you do? I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. If you jump on his back or what? If you dive for his legs or, try to wrap it. It's just there's so many things. It's like a golfer, right? You get out there on that first tee. All right, I got to keep my head down, keep this straight, do this. When you start thinking too much, you're going to make mistakes. That's what's going to happen. I get you're trying to prevent injury, but you said it. It's a violent sport. Injuries are going to happen. You can't outlaw everything unless you turn it, as Miguel Martinez just says, into a flag football league.
If you're a coach, tell me how you would coach in a situation like this.
Yeah.
656 ESPN, 210-656-3776. It's one of those, I could see it, a lot of injuries there. I don't know how you take it out. Yeah, it sucks seeing Tony Pollard get hurt that way. Other players that have been hurt. And the percentage of injuries in that play, I guess they have to look at something. But how? I mean, they make it so difficult now for defensive players. And it might be one of those penalties that you learn to live with. You know, we got rid of the horse collar. It took a while, but you don't see it as often as you did. Players did learn, all right, I can't do that. I heard Mike McCarthy use the term the other day in talking about all the damn penalties the Cowboys have been getting. And pre-snap penalties drive them nuts. Competitive penalties you can kind of live with. And this is going to go down into that competitive penalty kind of category, like the penalty on J-Ron Curse, that looked pretty, well, it looked like a football play to me, especially when you watched it on replay. Was it really helmet to helmet or did he hit the shoulder pad first? I don't mind the ref throwing the flag as long as the guy in the booth can look down and say, no, pick that one up.
Yeah, there's a lot of these things that are baffling. And, then they want to outlaw this tush push. And I don't know why they're going to bother with that because there's nobody but the Eagles can run that play anyway. Well, we saw the Cowboys didn't have much success doing it.
They didn't push on Dax Tush enough.
Well, they don't have any big fellas behind them to push. You expected Tony Pollard to push Dak Prescott through a mass of humanity?
Just put Mozzie Smith back there, although that might end up killing your quarterback. But a lot of players are going to get hurt on a play like that, which is the difference, I don't know, between the NFL and rugby. We don't really need a rugby scrum.
It is a rugby scrum. That's basically what it is. But look, I get it to an extent because then there's other things you wonder about. But I just don't know what a defensive player is got to do. You've just got to, play football. These guys know. They know. They've been playing football their whole life. It's a violent sport. All right, you might get hurt. It is a possibility that you might get hurt.
It's something you just go with this. Speaking of injuries, Anthony Richardson will have season-ending surgery, so it's the Gardner Minshew show now in Indianapolis.
Oh, boy.
And you look at a guy like Richardson, his style of play. Can the Colts keep this guy healthy for his career? I look at a guy that didn't play a lot of college football, and there were questions whether he should actually win the starting job this year or not. And ready, now he's hurt. He's going to miss a whole lot of football, and you just hope that they can get him right.
Well, what I would like to see Anthony Richardson do is, rent a cabin and invite Lamar Jackson there because they're similar. They're running quarterbacks, right? Lamar Jackson is a genius at avoiding the big hits. I don't know what he does. He is just a genius at it. And I think a quarterback like Anthony Richardson needs to emulate Lamar Jackson. He's got to talk to him and say, hey, what is it you do to avoid injury? Because, look, Anthony Richardson's been injured the entire year, basically.
Yeah.
He has been. I don't mind that they're playing him. You drafted him 4 overall. I don't mind that they're playing him. He should be able to come in and play. The fact that he didn't play much college is not the Colts' fault. It's, whoever. But if you draft a kid that high, he should be playing. I don't buy into this where, sit him on the bench. No.
I think the reason for that part of it, don't play him. Let him learn to be an NFL quarterback first, because right now, as soon as he got confused or didn't see a look, he took off and ran.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing if you're scrambling to keep a play alive and just taking off and running in a non-designed run play, you're open to getting hit in the open field and hurt because you don't have the proper protections in front of you. So
you got to go down. I mean, he's got to learn to get down.
And so I think that's some of the argument of let him learn the NFL game before you just throw him out there.
He needs to learn it from the best in the business, and that's Lamar Jackson.
Very, very
when it comes
true.
To that.
Not the best in the business. His name is James Harden with the Philadelphia 76ers. Not at practice. Nobody knows if he's holding out. There's not a lot of communication. We know he wants out. Joel Embiid was asked about James Harden not coming to work.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do. I'm not sure. But we have a good practice.
Yeah, it's training camp, but maybe the guy had something else to do.
Well, he's been in Houston, reportedly. That's where he's been for the last 3 days, but he certainly hasn't showed up. He wants to get traded. And just, I wish James Harden would just go away. Honestly, just go away. I mean, I don't know what you're not adding anything to anything anymore. Your skills have diminished. Just go away. It's time for you to ride off into the sunset.
If you've got a line wanting to talk about the hip drop tackle, stay there. Your calls as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you want to chime in, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Your calls next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries. If you need your logo on any kind of shirt, a dress shirt, a fishing shirt, a half zip as the temperatures drop, a jacket, Sam will get you taken care of. If you need T-shirts screen printed, go see Sam. If you need caps done, Sam has over 12,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900. 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Life moves fast. No one has time for a car, truck wreck, or commercial vehicle accident. At Davis Law Firm, we get it. When you call the force, you don't have to worry about insulting offers from insurance adjusters, property damage, or car rental. We recently settled a wrongful death case in a commercial vehicle accident for $5 million. Net to clients was $2.8 million. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car, truck wreck, or hit by a commercial vehicle, call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember. 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. You got to get to Mother's Window Tint right now, because if you do, it's National Pizza Month, and we're going to give you a free 18-inch one-topping pizza from Sophia's Pizzeria. Go to Mother's Window Tint today and get your windows tinted. Buy an alarm system and make sure you get a free pizza from Sophia's Pizzeria. Do it at Mother's and save.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of holiday joy at the Home Depot, where you can find everything you need to get ready for the holiday season, like all new festive outdoor decor. Spread more joy this season with bigger, bolder, and brighter inflatables from the Home Depot, like our exclusive new 8-foot animated Santa and reindeer inflatable for just $149. Available in-store and online. Get holiday ready right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Your small business is always top of mind. Well, top of your mind. To get it to the top of other people's minds, you need to get your name out front, which is where Staples Print and Marketing Services can put it. A yard sign over there, brochures right here, a banner up there. In fact, your business's message could appear anywhere. And right now at Staples, get $100 off your print purchase of $250 or more. Make a splash with your small business print and marketing materials at Staples. Ends 11/4. Visit staples.com/print for details.
O'Reilly. Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10, plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Ebony Loren, and Febrez's new scent, Soothe and Restore, is so good I wrote a song about it.
I know just what I do. Febreze has my favorite scent. Makes the perfect environment. Sweet like sugar, smooth shea butter. What could be better than being with each other now? Breathe, happy Febreze. La 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 la.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live out at the SA Card House, 281 and Bitters Road. We're here till 6 o'clock tonight. Of course, tonight you've got Game 3 of the ALCS. Astros Rangers here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star beginning at 6:30.
Astros are done.
Oh, shut up.
They're done.
Oh, shut up.
It's all over.
Uh-huh.
Astros are done. They ran into a buzzsaw called the Texas Rangers.
I'm just glad.
Max Scherzer tonight for the Rangers.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched in forever.
Well, he's fresh.
I think the last game he pitched in, he got touched up pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I expect him to get touched up again. I'm not even sure why they're dragging him out.
I look, I'm just glad that, there's no such thing as a must win. You're ready to call the series after 2 games just because you're so far behind on the beer bets. You're hoping that this will get another one closer to you. 210-656-ESPN 656. Oh, what the hell that was.
Donkey of the week.
3776. We were talking about the hip drop tackle and the NFL wanting to outlaw it. A lot of you want to weigh in on it. Let's go to the phones at 210-656-3776. Jason on line 2. You're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, I appreciate the line. I do sympathize with defensive players, like so many times, what are they supposed to do? But in the vein of answering the question, a lot of stuff now is turned into the defender make an effort to, like, on pass interference. Do they make an effort to get their head around and find the ball? On helmet to helmet, did they make an effort to get their head out of the way? The only thing I think of here, I'm a sports performance guy, so I've worked with this type of stuff in the past, is if, you catch yourself, trailing a player, you're going over the top of the shoulder pads. The only thing I think that I said immediately implementable is if the player shows an effort to drop the grip like around the waist, kind of like a rugby tackle. So when you do drop the hip, especially if you're a smaller player, you're not falling from 3 feet down on the back of their ankles. You're getting that rugby tackle. I think that's doable. I don't love it, but I think it's doable.
Well, it's certainly doable, and I understand what you're saying. I just think that, coaches are going to have to really coach that because, look, you're trying to make a tackle. You're trying to bring a guy down any way you can. And if you're just having to think about, well, I can't hit him there, I can't do this, I can't do that, I mean, that's just to me, it's unfair to a defensive player.
Well, and it's crazy because, with all like the high school football stuff that we do, we see a lot in the high school game with players emulating what they see on NFL Sundays. And you see that tackle a lot at the high school level. It starts there. Can the high school coaches, can the junior high coaches, can the little league coaches, back in the day when we were taught how to tackle and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind
Head
of
in front.
where it starts. Absolutely. Wookie, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hump day.
Oh, good Lord.
Hump day. I will tell you this much, Jason. I'd give a year's salary to watch you try to tackle Derrick Henry. I'll tell you that
much. Well, a year's salary to try or actually get him to the ground?
You ain't gonna survive, so I ain't got to pay you no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, dude, I'd let him run by and just jump on his back and hope eventually, I could choke him out and get him to drop. I don't know what I would do, but it probably wouldn't be legal.
Well, so what I was talking about is these rule changes. And, I mean, here's the thing. It's not a dirty play. So not to sound so, 51 years old, get off my lawn, don't change my NFL. But, yes, get off my lawn, don't change my NFL. It's not a dirty play. It's not a dirty play, so I don't see why it needs to be changed. And then with this tush rule, okay, so you're going to tell me a receiver catches a ball at the 9-yard line to get a first down for that 10-yard line, but a tight end comes up and pushes him with the defender holding him up, and then they're going to get him the first down, or is it down right there? Because now we're playing flag football.
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, you're playing flag football. What are you going to do? Look, Jerry Jones came out today on whatever, somebody talked to him out of his article or whatever it was, but I saw it, and he said he's all in favor of the tush push. He has no problem with that. And I don't know who named it that, but it's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's because it was the Bush push.
The problem
with
is
Reggie Bush against Notre Dame years ago.
Nobody else can do it but the Eagles, apparently. And so now they want to change it. And the Eagles are the only team that's really had much success with that play.
And Pledge is telling us Jerry talking about the tush push is available. So let's hear from Jerry.
Your thoughts on the tush push?
Well, I was surprised. I'm all for it, and I like to play. I think Dak is an excellent sneaker, and I was just surprised that we were stopped. And but I completely agreed with that's the play to run.
But you're okay with the play in general? There's a lot of talk about that with the competition committee with the way Philly has perfected it. You like it?
No, I'm okay with it. Okay. I like to play. I think there's a place for the play, and I think you've got some options that run off where people talk about the injury to the quarterback. Well, do the tush push with somebody other than the starting quarterback under center. There's a lot of ways to approach this thing, but I'm all for implementing the emphasis on the scrum, the traditional scrum that you normally think that the NFL and football in general and college is trying to avoid. That doesn't bother me as much on this play.
Jerry hesitated, and he's like, wait a minute, what did I do last night? How much Johnny Walker Black did I have?
Uh-huh.
Whose tush did I push?
Stop. I mean, but I mean, you look at, I mean, it's been a play that's been legal for years and years and years. It's, you got a guy in Jalen Hurts who can squat 600 pounds.
Yes.
And his offensive line, and they're able to run it, and they run it well. Nobody else really runs it well. I mean, the quarterback sneak, and then you get the help from behind, seemingly you would think is a dangerous play. And all it takes is one of those quarterbacks, a guy like Jalen Hurts, to get hurt in that situation.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Tom Brady was running the quarterback sneak for years. And nobody ever thought, well, Tom Brady, you're going to let him run the quarterback sneak?
Getting pushed from behind.
But still, it's still a quarterback sneak. Yeah. You're diving your head into a sea of humanity and a bunch of big guys in there, and you're Tom Brady, who wasn't the biggest dude in the world.
No, which, I mean, the quarterbacks, I think the issue is when you're getting pushed from behind and his legs are off the ground and he's basically body surfing. You ever been to a rock concert and seen the mosh pit and you see those people
dude,
surfing?
I haven't. No.
Would you ever want to do that?
A mosh pit?
Yes.
No.
You ever?
No, ever.
Even in your wild,
Not
crazy
even in my
days?
younger days.
Yeah, right?
No. I have no desire to do that.
You know, I mean, there's a reason I don't want to be on the floor anymore. I mean, because you just get caught up in that. And you're going to get hurt.
You can't see. That's your problem.
In the mosh pit, I can't see. But it is with the push from behind, and they're basically carrying a guy, and that's where some want to outlaw it. But quite frankly, nobody's figured out a way to stop it. But the only team that runs it well is Philadelphia.
Well, San Diego did it, or L.A. did a pretty good job of stopping it the other night.
Well, that's what I mean. Everybody,
right?
Unless you're Philadelphia,
yeah, that's it.
That's the only team that hasn't been really stopped doing it.
But I've seen running backs that are trying to push their way into the end zone. And you see the big offensive lineman behind them trying to push them in. Look, leave it alone, man. I just don't see a problem with it. Philly's got it down. It's a big weapon in their arsenal. Let them do it. And if you don't like it, stop them.
Well, it's Philadelphia, so let's just change the rule. They do that well. Let's take that away from them. They're not allowed to have nice things in Philadelphia. and that's the way it bottoms out. It's interesting when you look at the different rule changes. But if you're going to spend time talking about a rule change, have one that really impacts the game. That to me seems like a waste of the owner's time to talk about that play. When you look at the 25% more likely or whatever the number is on the hip drop tackle, all right, I could see where you need to spend some time on that, but you just got to make it easy and fair on how you're going to penalize it. And is that a play that can be called consistently?
Isn't it funny how all the rules changes are meant to benefit the offense?
Well, it's an offensive league.
Yeah, but scoring is down this year thus far overall.
And again, and we spent a lot of time talking about the Cowboys' red zone issues. A lot of teams are struggling in the red zone. Defenses are catching up and getting better.
I look at it from a gambling standpoint, of course.
Yes.
And the overs are way down.
Yeah.
Bettors that are betting the overs are losing more often than they're winning.
Yeah, there's a lot of professional
and
gamblers that are a lot closer to 500 than they're used to being.
Exactly. I know. It's rough.
I said professional gamblers.
Well, I play one on the radio.
No, you really don't.
I do.
We've all seen your record. We've all seen your record in that regard. Micah Parsons whining because people are bashing his quarterback. We'll hear him cry coming up on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years, and they do fantastic work. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And what's really great about Hill Electric is they've got the right service at the right price, but there's never a service charge and always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. So call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or online, hill-electric.com.
It is awesome to be home. San Antonio invited me in and embraced me. This is a market that means the world to me. I hate that I've been gone so long, but man, it feels sweet to be back.
It's the Jim Rome Show, back in San Antonio. Weekdays at noon.
Hey, Jim Rome here.
Have a take, San Antonio. And certainly do not suck.
Wait, what? Ouch. Are you kidding?
It's the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor, I'm helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-497-9090. That's 800-497-9090. 800-497-9090.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health San Antonio different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your T-check and exam today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
O'Reilly.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
You know, this summer was hot and it was dry, and you can only imagine what that Texas weather has done to your roof. Stevens Roofing is your family-owned local roofing company. Now that fall is here, it's time to call Stevens Roofing for a free roof inspection because you want to make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead. Schedule online at stevensroofing.net or give them a call at 210-785-0994. 210-785-0994.
Ever find yourself in a department store with a question, but you can't find anyone who actually works there, so you just wander? That's what it feels like when you call most banks. But at Frost, we have live customer service 24/7, so you can speak to a real human right when you call, every time you call. No phone tree, no bots, just help from a real human when you need it. It's about being there for you. It's about more than money. Frost Bank.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's the Mike McCarthy Show every Friday morning at 6:45 and 9 with R&R in the morning.
Morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Rob and Rudy.
Good morning.
A look at the Cowboys' upcoming game presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live at the SA Card House, 281 and Bitters. He's Joe. I'm Jason. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel 210.
Howdy, Jason.
Tweet at me, at Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy, Jimbo.
Howdy.
67 million for that guy to go away.
Well, he finally started saying howdy. So wherever he ends up, he's going to have to learn what they say.
He learned howdy on day one.
Howdy.
That's what it's all about.
Howdy.
You look at the Cowboys, you know, their bye week, yet they still dominate the news cycle because, well, they're the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
And look, Dak Prescott is Dak Prescott. They're 4-2 coming into the year. But Micah Parsons, did you notice he didn't talk to the media last week?
I didn't really notice, but he said he didn't.
I mean, you know, outside of the quarterback, you know, not every player talks every week.
That's true.
The quarterback generally does. Now, so from the media standpoint, there are podium guys like your quarterback,
right,
and then open locker room where you could just kind of grab whoever that is in there or wants to talk, right?
Right.
So, Micah Parsons, I didn't notice you didn't talk to the media last week. Had no idea that after you had a awful game against the San Francisco 49ers, you avoided the media. And I wish I would have picked up on that, because that's chicken bleep, Micah Parsons, when you are a star and you have a bad game and you avoid the media. That says a lot about you.
He's a big baby.
He is.
I mean, let's face it. He is. And look,
he also has his own podcast now.
Yes.
So,
which is an issue.
Maybe. All right. Well, I'm not giving anything though. I need to build my podcast audience. So I'm going to save all my thoughts for Monday night on my podcast, which is called The Edge, right?
The Edge,
right?
yes.
And he said one of the reasons on Monday night that he avoided the media, although it wasn't Monday night because they played Monday, so it was last night, Tuesday night, he did his podcast. Good thing he didn't try to do his podcast at halftime. But one of the reasons that he was avoiding the media is because he's tired of people picking on Dak Prescott.
I'm just calling out the BS because I'm tired of people trashing my quarterback. I'm tired of people trashing my team. And that's why I had nothing to say to the media this week. I just wanted us to say, you want to hear me talk? Come to hear me talk on The Edge Monday night. And that's just what it's going to be. Because I have nothing to say, because if you're just going to take one game and say, this is who I am, then I'll have nothing to say to you. Because in life, that's just not how it is.
Okay.
I don't know what he's talking about. One game.
Well, the San Francisco game. Although we've got 8 years. And again, Dak Prescott's a great regular season quarterback, but he hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs. I mean, playoff Prescott is not good. Hasn't been good. So, Micah, it's not just one game. And people have been trashing Dak since you've been in the league. I'm glad you're paying attention.
And it does. And Tony Romo before him, and whoever it was before, it just goes with the territory for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, so look, the one thing I will say good about Dak Prescott is the fact that he's got pretty thick skin. At least in public, he does. He knows he gets criticized, and that's okay. Micah Parsons needs to grow up. All right, he's had a pretty good season thus far, although the last 2 games are questionable. But he needs to grow up. The guy needs to grow up. Look, he is ranked 12th right now statistically among all the other linebackers and pass rushers. So, that whole MVP talk at the beginning of the year, which unfortunately, and I will admit I was sucked into as well, is out the door. I'm not even sure Defensive Player of the Year is still on the table.
DPOY probably in the conversation. And the MVP talk, I don't know that anybody actually said he should win MVP, but should he be in the conversation when he brought up why is it just a quarterback award? And so should there be a quarterback award and then an MVP for all the other players out there? Maybe. But that's the only talk that anybody's ever had about him being MVP. Is he the most valuable player in the league? No. Is he going to get paid and become the highest paid defensive player? Absolutely, he will be when he gets his new contract this offseason. Defensive Player of the Year, absolutely, because he doesn't have the sack numbers I think he thought he would have at this point, but he does impact the game. And the other night, statistically, when you look at like all the PFF grades and all that kind of stuff, he played well. A lot of pressures, got Herbert off his spot a lot, and he got that one sack in the biggest moment of the game. And then the very next play was the interception. Defensive Player of the Year.
Troy Aikman said that the Chargers were handling him. Those are Troy's words.
They were.
Your hero, Troy Aikman, said they were handling him the entire game. That's what Troy said. I'm just going by what Troy said.
Again, quiet night stat-wise, tackle-wise.
I'm just saying they were. No.
Hold on. And again, you're watching the game. I'm thinking the same thing. You're thinking the same thing. And then you look at how the tape is graded by those that grade those things, those Pro Football Focus types. Did he have an impact on the game? He did. Was it noticeable? Did it show up in a stat sheet? No.
Well, look, Troy Aikman's calling the game, is he not? his exact words. And Pledge, we can probably hear this, I would assume. Can we hear this? Troy Aikman, I believe his exact words were, they've handled him. That doesn't mean that they didn't handle him and he got pressures and they handled him. Do we have that, Pledge?
Good look at Parsons there. He's been pretty quiet tonight. He's just been involved in one tackle, no sacks by the defense at all. They've handled him.
No sacks at San Francisco either, and here it is. Right on cue, Parsons. His first, the Cowboys' first, and what a time for it.
And it was at the right time for it. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Wait a minute. This is a professional show here, Rudy J.
You think you can just walk in here, get out of your Uber,
yes,
and come in and grab turn that microphone off, leave him for 6 to 10 in the morning.
Yeah, dude, we do the thing professionally from 2 to 6.
Yes.
All right, I don't know what you guys do from 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is this Micah talk almost drove off the road. Thank you, Joe, for being a realist. This is insane. Listening to him act like Micah didn't get handled the whole game.
Dude,
don't give me no PFF.
What?
Did you see what Myles Garrett did to Trent Williams?
Hold on.
Versus what Micah did?
Do you listen to the whole thing or just what you want to hear?
No, I hear
because
you.
I said the same thing. It felt like a quiet night.
He's not the defensive player of the year, Jason. He's not. Stop it.
And who said he was?
You said he's still in the conversation. He's not.
He's in the conversation. You're an idiot, Rudy. If you don't think he's not going to be in the conversation.
He's not even on Fred Warner's level, Jason. Fred Warner's a 10 miles. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett.
Okay.
He's at least he may be in 5th.
All right.
Maybe.
No.
That's not in the conversation.
It's in the conversation.
Statistically, he's 12th. Okay.
Joe,
I'm looking
I
at
can't
him
believe
right
you're
here.
entertaining this.
But then I have to. I got to sit with this dude for 4 hours while he slurps the Cowboys all day long.
Well, he's critical of them, but this Micah talk is insane.
Saying a guy
You're critical of him.
Saying a guy is in the conversation.
What's
is
the
very
conversation,
different than
Jason?
saying that I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I heard you misquote me this morning, and
What?
you often
What
do
did I say?
on your show
What'd I
I
do?
said he should be in the MVP conversation.
You did.
You never heard those words come out of my mouth.
Do I have to
Not
go to the
one
TikTok?
time.
The TikTok has
Absolutely.
20,000 views where you said
that he's going to be MVP.
he's in the
MVP?
conversation. You said conversation.
When he said that it shouldn't be just a quarterback award, if you take that, you take little pieces of what is said and you try to make something out of it that it's not. That's not how you do anything, right? So yeah, I could take things that I've heard you say and apply it to something else just to carry on.
You mean like, the 6 inches when I wanted the truck lift?
Well, you weren't talking about a truck lift.
I always wanted just
a
about
truck
6
lift.
inches. You see what I'm saying?
See?
That's a bit on your show, and I was talking about a truck lift.
You weren't talking about a truck
I'm
lift.
not sure you were.
Sometimes you just dribble on out.
I'm not sure.
Joe, really? And then,
hold on,
you got my man here listening to this nonsense.
Oh, you're talking about Coach Danny Close?
Yeah, my guy.
Well, he wants 6 inches too. I mean,
don't we all?
You
I
see?
mean, come on.
This show just got better.
Really?
You're welcome.
For what?
I'm well, man. I was driving over here and I'm listening to Joe have to try to deal with this nonsense, and I'm like, man, I feel bad for him.
Why? Why?
Dude, it doesn't matter because I know I'm right, and it doesn't.
Well, no, you're wrong too, because you did a video that's getting some traction where you call Mike McCarthy a horrible coach, and that is just,
dude, he's awful.
No, you see what I'm saying about the Blitz?
No, wait a second. Now,
he's not
as a head coach, yes.
Joe,
as a play caller, he needs to give that up and hire somebody.
That is a bad take. I love you. That's a bad take.
How is that a bad take?
28-12 in his last 36 regular season games.
So you're going to tell me
I'm just
the
saying
Cowboys
you can't be an awful coach and be 28-12
the Cowboys wait a second.
Last 40 games.
The Cowboys offense has been awful. Has it not? Yes, it has. Thank you.
Okay.
It's been awful.
I'm going to take your words, Rudy. I'm going to take your words.
I'm listening.
You just gave me a record and said you can't be awful, right?
His last 40 games, he's 28-12, and you can ask a head coach sitting here. There's a head coach here. If you're 28-12 in your last 40 regular season games, you can't be I'm using Joe's words. Joe said horrible.
All right.
He's not a horrible coach.
All the awful things I hear you say about Dak Prescott. Yet you look at his regular season record.
I've never said anything bad about. I've never said anything bad about
regular
Dak.
season games.
I've never said anything bad about Dak. I'm just
that's
critical.
not true either.
I go game by game with Dak. Joe called Mike McCarthy a horrible coach. That's statistically and factually wrong, Joe.
But all the negative things I hear you say about Dak Prescott.
See, now you misquoted me.
No, I didn't misquote you.
I just said he had the best game of this season this past Monday.
Well, stop it. Boy, the bar is pretty low, isn't it?
Dude,
when we're saying that was the best game
did you
Dak
see
Prescott
that
has ever
offensive
happened.
line
Dude,
Monday?
It was
Did you see that offensive line?
Dak, I got to deal with this guy. Oh, it was a great game for Dak Prescott.
Dude, he was running for his life. They couldn't run the ball, and yet he kept moving the chains. That's a good damn game, Joe.
He had a good game. Yes. It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great, but it was his best game this season.
That's all I said. The bar is pretty low for Dak Prescott.
So here's the thing. You can say very good or great. And those are two very different things.
Well, I'm putting in the good, the B+ era.
And then you got people all in the comments, yeah, Joe, preach. I'm like, preach
of
about
course.
what?
Well, because Dak is just average. He's an average quarterback.
How
That's
do you
all
listen
he
to this
is.
for 4 hours, Shelton?
12, and again, Dak Prescott is a way above average regular season quarterback. He's just awful in the playoffs.
Whoa there, Cowboy. Way above. Whoa there, Cowboy.
Well, what side are you on?
I'm on. You know what I am?
You're riding that fence pretty good.
I'm on the fence, and you never trust a man that can't pick a side.
But again, in the regular season, you look at his statistics, he's above average. In the playoffs, he's been awful. Playoff Prescott is not a good word. Right?
No, he's up. Playoff P. Is he Paul George? Is he Paul George?
And when when after that San Francisco game, I said we got playoff Prescott, big game, and that's what you got. That you don't want Dak in a big game. He hasn't proven to be worth anything, but you can't say he's an awful quarterback because his stats through his 8 years.
I missed the show. I missed the show Tuesday. What did you say to Joe calling him a horrible coach? I want to know what you said so I don't misquote you. Did you agree with that?
Oh, well, he said that on a video on TikTok, and I don't do TikTok, so we didn't actually talk about that.
It's on Instagram as well.
Okay, I'll correct it. He's a horrible play caller. He was a horrible play caller in Green Bay. He's a horrible play caller in Dallas. The head coach. If that's what you're going to be the head coach.
Here's the thing, and I agree with Joe. I have not been happy with the play calling all season long from Mike McCarthy, especially in the red zone. And the man looks uncomfortable doing it. We've watched Mike McCarthy on the sidelines the last couple of years, and he looks in control.
He was
and
nervous.
Now all of a sudden he's got that Waffle House menu in front of him, looking at plays.
Don't do that to Waffle House.
I mean, but Waffle House is only good if the sun is down. You ever had Waffle House in the daylight?
No.
It doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It's not very good, right? But Waffle House in the dark, it's fantastic. But he's calling games and there's too much light. He's looking at that menu and he looks stressed.
He looks nervous.
He doesn't look confident in what he is calling.
Okay.
He doesn't. And he hasn't been good at calling plays.
This is a harsh, critical show, man. Damn.
Well, dude, we just speak the truth. I don't know what you guys are doing in the morning, but I mean, we speak the truth.
Hold on now, big fella.
I'm just saying.
Watch it now, Joe.
Now, the only thing, and I was telling Minix.
I love Justin Bieber. Yo, chill out. Chill out.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because I'm sensitive.
Because you were talking about Micah Parsons this morning. The only reason I know this is because I had to sit in the discount tire line for 30 minutes. All right, to get the air in my tires. So I'm listening to you.
With all the air you have, why didn't you?
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
So there's a reason. I'm transparency. So you're saying something about Micah Parsons, MVP. You said the only guy that says that is a dude that wears a half zip to a wedding.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I never said that I thought Micah Parsons would be MVP.
You know what? I'm going to do my research. I thought you said that.
No. Was he in the conversation?
I don't know.
No, we're good. Was he in the conversation when he brought up that the MVP award should be more than just a quarterback award?
Yeah, it should be. Maybe, if you want to talk, Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill, not Micah Parsons.
And they should be offensive players of the year
through 6 games. Okay. You're right, but preseason, what we expected out of this defense, which isn't going to be near as good with
historical.
No Leighton Vander Esch and
you
no
did
Diggs.
say they could be historical.
I thought they could be. I did. I thought they could be an historically great defense. Right?
Have they lived up to that?
No. And with no Leighton Vander Esch and no Diggs, two of their best players, they're not going to be.
Bland is just as good a cover as Diggs.
No, he's not.
Jason Minix.
He's not. He's not, dude. Could have had a pick six last week and another interception. He had a ball go through his hands and hit his face.
That's why he's playing defensive back.
Exactly.
He can't catch.
I mean, like all of a sudden, who's the Pittsburgh Steelers that are, or was it the Ravens using a rugby ball?
I could have swore Diggs dropped a pick last year against San Francisco.
I mean, they all do.
Okay.
And look,
Bland is just as good as Trayvon, and he's a lot cheaper.
And I'm glad you brought up that Diggs interception. He's not just as good. But you
are you being serious? I don't know when you're kidding.
Do I think Deron Bland is just as good as Diggs?
Good.
As good, just as good. No.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what is each guy?
Dude, I don't know.
So if Diggs is an 8, Bland's a 6. Is that worth $100 million difference?
Well, it is if you got it. I mean,
I don't know. If Deron Bland can play his way into a contract like that, good for him. Right? I mean,
well, see, now you can let go of Gilmore.
Well, I mean, Gilmore's here for a year and he's out. I mean, he's on his last legs, and he was brought in to be a nice compliment.
He's got a couple picks, so he's doing his job.
But he was brought in to be a compliment to Diggs, and then you look at a guy like Bland that could come in when they need nickel or when they need another corner. I mean,
I can't believe you brought up LVE. Like, you bringing up LVE like he's Fred Warner or Ray Lewis.
He's the captain of that defense. He's the quarterback of the defense.
What do you do? What are y'all on?
Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold on.
What are y'all on before y'all come on air?
You know what the green dot is on the back of the helmet, right?
Yes.
And
that means that's the guy that Dan Quinn talks to.
So he's the quarterback
because
of the
he's
defense.
the quarterback of the defense.
Somebody's got to be.
Oh, why is it not Trayvon Diggs or Deron Bland?
He ain't even better than Sean Lee. Sean Lee was just always hurt.
Well, and so is Leighton Vander Esch. They're literally the same guy.
Yeah.
Literally the
but no,
same.
I like LVE.
The same
but
guy.
when we were at training camp, I literally saw not one media member try to go up to LVE.
Well,
not
have you ever talked to him?
Oh, is it that bad?
I mean, we all want good interviews, right?
Oh, is it that bad?
I mean,
okay, I didn't know that. I was wondering.
I mean,
now I know why.
You ask Rob when we interviewed him after he was drafted.
And I'm like, damn, LVE's right there. He's the captain. Should I go up to him? Why isn't anyone talking to him? Because nobody else did.
He might have talked to you. Parsons just ran right by you.
Exactly. Which is why ultimately there's Micah Parsons hate because he blew you off at training camp.
Micah got me like 50 followers, so Micah good with me.
Micah needs to get a little thicker skin, though.
He's
a big baby.
Dude,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, he needs to stop that podcast.
Yeah, and at some point he's going to be the guy that he despises. He's talking about Acho. You have a career in media. You're going to be doing the same thing in 10 years, Mike.
Exactly right.
So, anyway.
It is. I'm glad you stopped by.
Yeah, me too. This was fun.
I mean, look at you sweating. You're getting your workout.
I look like Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
calling
you do.
Exactly.
You know,
you look really nervous,
except for your menu is from Foster's Bar and Grill. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See?
Exactly.
Even Mike McCarthy agrees.
Damn, that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star out here at SA Card House 281. And bidders, you want to argue with Rudy, come on by. He'll be talking nonsense for a couple hours. Although he'll be playing cards. Although knowing how he plays cards, he'll be back in 3 minutes.
Yeah, he'll be back soon.
It'll be good. You know, injuries do happen. When they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, one call could change your entire case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers, 210-225-0909, or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Is your AC working but the house is still uncomfortable? Call Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. Your AC cools, but it can't defend against humidity alone. Take control of your home comfort with a whole home dehumidifier and save $3,000. Plus, you can save up to $2,500 on a furnace and AC made by Carrier. Turn to the experts and installed by Airtron. Call today for same-day estimates and next-day installations. Visit Airtron.com for terms and conditions. Savings cannot be combined with any other promotion. License number TACLA 000399898C.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have a lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the 10 Cup Bar. It's the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of SA, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. 7 days a week happy hour, sports on all HD screens, and plenty of arcade games. With 5 area locations: North Star, Nacogdoches, Medical Center, St. Mary's Strip, and Thousand Oaks. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar has you covered for any occasion, catering to you and delivering San Antonio memories for over 10 years. Slackers, San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. Follow Slackers on Facebook for events and specials.
The annual Thomas J. Henry Bark in the Park Pet Costume Contest is coming back to the Sunken Garden Theater. Join us on Saturday, October 21st from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a pet-friendly, family-friendly, tail-wagging time. Enter your pet in the biggest costume contest in Texas with cash prizes up to $1,000. All proceeds benefit local pet rescue organizations. There's plenty to do, from costume contests, vendors, food trucks, kids zone, and more. For more info or to register your pet in the costume contest, visit bark.tjhlaw.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Blitz. 2 to 6 on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
I'm just calling out the BS because I'm tired of people trashing my quarterback. I'm tired of people trashing my team. And that's why I had nothing to say to the media this week.
No, my goodness. Micah Parsons on his podcast calling out the media and protecting his quarterback, Dak Prescott. We'll talk more about that coming up here on the Blitz. Jimbo Fisher on the hot seat. In fact, The Athletic is reporting that Aggie fans are about ready to get rid of Jimbo.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day.
Here we go.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Oh, boy. It's a Wendy
Hump
Wednesday
day.
here on 94.1
Victor Wamba Mama.
San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reining.
It's hump day.
I'm Jason Minutes.
Yes.
Seeing something here at the SA Card House that I've never seen before, and quite frankly, it's depressing.
What's that?
There's a lovely lady over here as a corn dog that she's eating with a fork and knife.
Oh, my goodness.
A corn dog with a fork and knife.
It's actually a foot-long corn dog.
Oh, I was going to leave that part out, but yes. Well, but eating it with a fork and knife. She picked it up, looked at it, and decided fork and knife.
Well, honestly, to her defense, that's probably good for a lady to do that.
I mean, look, it's state fair. You got up there with the Fletcher's corny dog. You don't bring a fork and knife. I mean, that's like you eating boneless wings with a fork and knife. If you're going to use a fork and knife, don't order something else.
Well, maybe she didn't have a choice. Is that what you ordered? No, see, it's not what she ordered.
It's exactly what she ordered.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
the excitement. The excitement level on her face. And I can't hear anything. We're sitting over here, and you could just see is it arrived. The look on her face of excitement, and then she goes fork and knife with the corn dog.
Now, while all of us standing around here would love to see that, it's probably wise that she's using a fork and knife.
Probably.
So
probably. I'm just saying.
It looks good though.
It does.
Now, the food looks really good here. I can't wait to tear into it.
The corn
Always
dog?
like my meat.
Well,
big.
maybe. Are you going to use a fork and knife for your corn dog?
I won't use a fork and knife. No.
You're going to order corn dog bites so you don't have to make the decision that was just made over there?
I haven't looked at the menu yet. There's a lot of good stuff on the menu here at SA
Well, how do you know that if you haven't looked at the menu
yet? Well, because I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay. It looks like Mike McCarthy's play sheet.
Look at this. You got a chicken cheesesteak, a Philly cheesesteak, chili cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
You got a loco burger that's got a fried egg on it.
Okay.
There's all kinds of stuff here.
And a corn dog.
I haven't seen the corn dog yet. Oh, there's a hot dog with tots.
Okay.
Bacon wrapped hot dog with tots.
Sounds good.
Not bad. I don't see corn dog. Maybe that's a special menu.
I mean, you got to be special to get the corn dog
Special
here at
menu.
SA Card House.
Apparently so.
Uh-huh. So it's what it boils down to.
A lot of good stuff here, though.
I mean, you think about that, the menu there, it looks like Mike McCarthy's play sheet. And one of the things that you think about with that Cowboys offense is the lack of motion. And I saw RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com repost, whatever we call it now, a metric that measured motion, and the Cowboys were number 32.
32.
And RJ's tweet, when he quote tweeted, it just said gross. And but early in the game, the Cowboys did motion CeeDee Lamb a bit. There was some motion, and I think most Cowboy fans were excited to see, I don't know, an offense that resembles something that you see in 2023. Well, Mike McCarthy was asked today about motion and why they went away from motion in the second half.
To be honest with you, I quit the motions because of the pre-snaps, just the way it was going and just the way they were playing. I mean, the reason why we motioned is a number of reasons. I mean, I don't want to get too deep in this, but they did. I thought they did an excellent job of holding their coverages. You know, their disguise is probably one of the better disguised defenses that we've seen this year. So, but you know, we weren't getting a whole lot of bang for our buck there. So, so I like to play fast, get up and attack, so forth. But yeah, the motion standpoint was more about them than us.
I like to play fast. Look, so we find out Mike McCarthy coaches scared. Right? He doesn't want to motion because he's afraid of a penalty. Doesn't want to take a shot in the end zone because he's afraid of a penalty. I mean, come on, Coach.
And look, we saw Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott should not be the leading rusher.
No.
On the Dallas Cowboys.
He should not be.
But he was the leading rusher the other day. And a lot of those runs, he did things to keep plays alive with the offensive line breaking down. Sometimes he took off and run. Now, that one play for the touchdown, that was a designed run. And you heard Troy Aikman go back to, in college, that's what he did a lot while he was at Mississippi State. We saw Dak Prescott, when we were in Oxnard, running the ball a lot more. When Dak Prescott was on the blitz, sitting right between us, I asked him, is that going to be more of the offense this year? And he said that it would be, although we really haven't seen it yet. Mike McCarthy today said, you're not going to see us calling a lot of run plays for Dak Prescott.
Well, I mean, running and scrambling, I mean, just from my viewpoint, and the training is different. Scrambling is part of the passing game. Yes, it's the way we train. You see us practice in the quarterback schools and all those things. So the scrambling component is part of the passing game. The called runs, we're selective when we do it. And so, I mean, he's very productive, obviously, on a touchdown run. It was a big play in the game. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in, making Dak, you won't see me call 12 quarterback runs in the game, I guess, to answer your question. Don't tell anybody, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wonder, was that a called play? I mean, it looked like an option play, and Dak made a great read there. I'll give him credit for that. And the hole was as big as this room. I mean, it was huge, and he just waltzed in. So those kind of plays, you got to take a chance sometimes, because if you're Mike McCarthy and you're calling running plays, and I think this is what he's afraid of, you get your quarterback hurt. I mean, it's very easy to do. But if you're scrambling around, and I get what he's saying there, you got to do that sometimes and take off and run. And you'd like to see Dak do a little more of that.
What I would like to see in the red zone, and specifically inside the 10, first and goal, second goal, third and goal, kind of like that play that the Chargers ran the other night that got a touchdown. Justin Herbert rolling out. Well, a naked boot with an option to throw.
Yeah.
If the defender goes back with the receiver, then Dak is a big enough, strong enough, talented enough runner to get into the end zone. And if they come up to attack him, that receiver is going to be open. And maybe you got two receivers that, a trail receiver, something you could do. But put CeeDee Lamb in motion in the red zone so that you can't jam him at the line of scrimmage and get that guy open. You go back to the Brandon Cooks touchdown. That was a well-designed play. As much crap as we'll give Mike McCarthy, that was a play that was a long developing play, but the offensive line held enough. Brandon Cooks got open, and Dak Prescott threw him. I mean, there was some creativity there, but you still have a guy who's an athletic quarterback that can run. And he ran up until he broke his leg. I understand the year after the broken leg. All right, let's not put him at risk. But at this point, run. And what we saw at training camp was Dak Prescott a lot of times, as often as we go to Cowboys training camp, plays not there, dirt the ball, start over. This year at training camp, Dak Prescott was keeping every one of those plays alive. If something wasn't there, he was running. Yet we haven't seen that in the regular season yet. Monday night was the closest to it. And then I hear Mike McCarthy, but the scrambling and running play is two different things. I ain't running my quarterback.
Well, they are two different things. And you like to see Dak getting out of trouble. And if he's got a lane, he needs to run. But that one play for the touchdown was a well-designed play. And it takes a quarterback knowing that that defensive end is going for the running back. And that made the lane perfect. And it was a great call by Dak Prescott, by Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to completely trash them when they don't deserve it. That was a good play. I even text you after that touchdown. I said that was a good play. Yeah. And I was happy to see it. So we need to see a little more of that. He doesn't have to call 12 running plays for Prescott, but every now and then. 5? Yeah, every now and then 5? Those work.
Give me 5.
You can't coach scared.
No.
You can't. And I think Mike McCarthy does.
Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin joins us next. He's a Longhorns insider as Texas travels down to Houston this weekend. We'll talk about the game coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, I want to tell you about a huge anniversary celebration. How about 67 years in business? Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? Woods Comfort Systems is celebrating that right now. 67 years in business. That's incredible, but they don't want you to congratulate them. They want to thank you for allowing them to serve you for all of these years. And right now, well, as the weather's turning colder, you might want to get that furnace checked out. They're offering a furnace safety check, normally $129. They're doing it for $67 right now for a limited time. So give them a call, schedule your service, and tell them happy 67th anniversary. The number to call, 877-324-6902. You can also go to woodscomfortsystems.com. Call them today. Get that scheduled. Make sure that furnace is in good working order. 877-324-6902. 877-324-6902. Or you can go to woodscomfortsystems.com.
94.1.
Darius, look who just figured out how to find my Medicare plan options. Just typed in my zip code and boom.
This is not just a search tool.
Look at you go, Mom.
This is Walgreens making it easy to find a Medicare plan with low-cost copays. During open enrollment, use Walgreens Find RX coverage to help you find the right Medicare plan for you. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Exergen thermometers are the smart choice when selecting a thermometer. With children back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Got a fever? Stay home. To detect fever accurately at home, you need a clinically accurate, fast, and non-invasive thermometer. The Exergen thermometer is backed by over 100 clinical studies. Accuracy matters. Be smart and safe. Measure accurately with Exergen thermometers. Available at Walmart and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hi, I'm Attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm Attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's football season and the Roo Pub is kicking off their 10-year anniversary party. Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch a game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College football, pro football, the games are on at the Roo. Aggie fans, every game will be on with sound. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Celebrating 10 years, the Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Smoker's Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. Now with 15 area locations, including the newest location at South Cross and Highway 37. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Thursday on R&R in the morning. It's Bezos Bowl day as the Jags in New Orleans go at it. We'll get you ready. The Spurs come off a Rockets game. How did Wemby look? And does Sohan sound as British today as he did yesterday? Also, those Rangers Astros keep playing, and we got it all for you. Now back to the Blitz. Another day, another remote appearance. Hey, enjoy yourselves out of the San Antonio Card House. There's no better place to be than there right now.
Appreciate you, Rob Thompson. He's Joe Ryan-Eagle. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, live out at SA Card House. We're here till 6. They got all kinds of stuff going on, and they keep offering us food from the restaurant here.
That looks fantastic, by the way.
Eventually we'll eat.
Yeah, definitely.
Eventually.
It looks fantastic.
Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Texas with a big game this week, going against a team. Bob, I'm not sure if you heard what Dana Holgorsen said this week about playing Texas. So let's play that here for him, Pledge, and then we'll talk about the importance of this game for Dana.
Yeah, I've got a lot of comments. Just beat Texas. Don't care if you win any of them, but you got to win that one. You know, you can go 1-11, and it's okay if you beat Texas. Well, beating Texas is going to be hard. We know that. You know, it's good. It's good for, you know, for our fans. I mean, it's exciting for them. It's way more exciting for them than it is for me. And I have competed against those guys a lot over the years, you know, and they're in a different place now than when I went there in 2018 was the last time that I competed against these guys. And we came out of there with a win that day, but where they're at now is different.
Well, is Holgorsen playing a harp or what? What the hell is he doing there?
I mean, Sark must be just scared to death sitting in his office preparing for this one.
The Baylor fans said the same thing to Dave Aranda. How'd that go?
I mean, in all seriousness, Bob, I mean, this shouldn't be a game, should it? Houston's just not Houston. They're not a good team. Texas ought to roll these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. This is going to be an interesting test to see, like, how much of a hangover is there from OU and the bye week, or is it the opposite where they come out just mad as hell and ready to, you know, bash someone's skull in? And, you know, a Sark team this year hasn't scored more than 40 points. He talked a lot about how he wants to see the offense get in the end zone more and more often. So we'll see. I mean, this should not be – I totally agree with you, Joe. This should not be much of a game. Houston's better than Baylor. I think Houston will give more of a competition than Baylor does, but I don't think in the end they can hang with Texas.
Well, and you know, and that last part, what you just said, Bob Ballou, is my concern with this game. Joe said earlier in the show this game would be over at halftime. Problem is Texas is a slow-starting football team. None of their games are over at halftime. End of the third quarter, maybe. What can Sark do to get this team off to a faster start, get into the end zone, all the things that you just said? Because, you know, this deep into the season, it's an issue, a problem that can be fixed or should be fixed by that coaching staff.
Just throw it deep every play. Have Xavier Worthy run underneath it, go get it, and score long touchdowns real quick. Score some defensive touchdowns, some special teams touchdowns. I mean, I don't know that there's much more he can really do. I think part of the issue in college football in general right now is the rolling clock that has made such a difference in scores and time of possession and those type of things. And I think coaches are still trying to kind of figure that out. But Texas will, I think, first of all, there's nothing to worry about, Jason. Let's put it that way. Nothing to worry about here. It's just whether or not they get off to a faster start or not. But they will. This game is not. If you're going to circle one on your calendar that you're going to worry about in the last 6, this would be 5th or 6th on the list.
What has been the mood around the 40 acres there, though, Bob? I mean, it had to be a lot of disappointment after that Oklahoma game. I don't think there's any question about it. But what's been the mood, and do you think there will be a hangover from that game?
I think everyone was really high at ACL. Not the players. I just think it was
of course not.
We had Austin City Limits last weekend, 3-day music festival. I think you get into that kind of stuff. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, I think these guys know exactly what happened, and they know exactly what their goals are. And Quinn Ewers even said it this week. He was asked about, you start thinking about the thing, like, how do we get to December and get to Oklahoma and play them in the Big 12 title game? Well, you don't if you overlook Houston or BYU or Iowa State or Texas Tech or whoever it is. You have to prepare. Now that you've lost a game, you can't afford another mistake if you want to guarantee yourself a shot at the Big 12 title game and then guarantee your shot, give yourself a shot at the playoffs. So I think they know it. It's in the back of their mind that the Big 12 title is still out there and all their goals are still on the table. But they really do need to do a good job of focusing in on Houston and not worrying about what else is left, because it doesn't really matter if you lose to Houston on Saturday. So that's kind of the attitude. They've taken that attitude again. They weren't, the Oklahoma game was just a great football game. That's what college football is. You're going to get in those games and win some and lose some. But for the rest of the year, they can't afford that slip up of this 22-point underdog upset us or this, something crazy happening. They need to, like Jason's talked about, they need to get off to faster starts and kind of put their throat on some guys and go after them.
Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin joining us here on the Blitz. I'm curious because there's nothing worse than sitting on a loss for 2 weeks. To lose a big game and have a bye. I mean, every one of those players would have rather played, a Tuesday night game in Conference USA. Bring on Sam Houston State, somebody just to get out there and play a game. But Quinn Ewers, while he finished the OU game strong, he was awful at the beginning of that game. What did he say about his start, not after the game, but this week, and just kind of talking about the turnovers early on against Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, I think in that game, those things just happen. I think that happens sometimes in any game. It happened in his first game of his collegiate career, his first week against Louisiana Monroe last year. He threw a pick like on his second possession. It's football, and those things are going to happen. To see the response, I think, is what you needed to see, because that thing can really snowball. You throw an interception on your first two possessions, and all of a sudden that stuff gets in your head. Instead, he went the opposite direction, finished 31 of 36 for 346 yards. I think he knows it's in so many ways for all of these guys, and he's talked a lot about this year. It's about settling in immediately. It's about getting some completions, getting some comfort level with what the game plan is in the offense, and getting some stuff completed quickly and kind of come out firing on all cylinders. Again, they've had the luxury this year of stepping on people's throats in the third and fourth quarter and doing whatever they needed to do to win the game in those possessions. But it is at some point caught up with them a little bit against Oklahoma. That's the one thing they need to figure out to not let it catch up with them again.
All right, Bob, I've got to ask you, because I hope the answer is yes to this question. Have they been working on shutting down a team in the last 45 seconds with no timeouts and keeping them out of the end zone?
I don't think so. I think they just worked on third down defense. I think that was their –
Jeez.
Yeah, listen, one of the things Sark talked about that was really interesting was just missed tackles. There were just a couple of those early plays where you get a guy on the ground instead of letting him get out of bounds or get a first down, and the clock rolls. And it's much harder for a team to go get, down to the 6 with an opportunity to win the game. So, yeah, they're certainly working on all of those things. Sark he had a laundry list of things that he said they're working on. It's just whether or not that translates when you get into a game and how you can, fend off that whatever it was, 75-yard drive in 50 seconds. Like they did against Oklahoma.
Yeah. So you just added 5 seconds to that, Bob. It's 45, pal.
It was bad, whatever it was. I can tell you that.
Yes, it was. It was
really. I mean, for them to get that, and again, you look at a game like that, and you wonder about tackling and toughness. And it's interesting as they get ready to go to the SEC next year. The one thing about this Texas team that I don't think we've questioned much this year is, are they a tough physical football team? They seem like it, although they were like a wet paper defense on that final drive that Joe keeps mentioning. But I don't think that's a question with this Longhorn football team. Am I reading that accurately? I mean, you're there a lot more.
No, absolutely. They are a tough physical football team. That's what they pride themselves on. That's who they are. And I think that's why they wear down teams in the third and fourth quarter. That's what happened in Alabama. When you have a 7-minute drive against a defense that's as good as Alabama's is year in and year out, and you only run the football and you run it right down their throat, I think that's a really big statement as a program. And I think they're able to do that. Again, you got to remember when they took that 30-27 lead, Jonathan Brooks on the previous drive had a 29-yard touchdown run. They're not just slinging it all over the field. They can run the football. Jonathan Brooks is incredible. He's had an unbelievable year. And I'll tell you this, I think if he continues this run and Texas finishes 11-1, I think we'll hear a little more about Jonathan Brooks for Heisman, which would be, right now I don't think it's something people are really talking about, but when you're second or third in the country in rushing and you're on a team like this that is doing what Texas can do, I think we will see that if this continues moving forward.
Well, and now that Caleb Williams showed us that he's human, actually, against Notre Dame the other day, that might help his cause, no question about it. Bob, Jason and I were talking about it. In college football, there are some wins that mean a lot more than others. I mean, let's face it, everybody's got their rival game, and if you win that game, it kind of buys you some goodwill and all of that. Did the Alabama win kind of cancel out the Oklahoma loss, especially with the fact that Texas still has an opportunity with everything in front of them? Is that how it works, or am I way off base on that?
I think, not to be stupid about this, but I think it is kind of funny to think when Texas gets to the end of this year, if they are 11-1, if they win the Big 12 championship and they're 12-1 and they're in the playoff conversation, and you're putting them up against a one-loss Pac-12 team or a one-loss SEC team that maybe didn't win the SEC title, that's on the outside looking in, that Alabama game is going to be enormous because Alabama's going to finish with a strong record, whether that's 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, whatever they finish. That's going to be a huge, huge win. But right now in the moment, because we have Oklahoma on our minds, I think we forget about it. And so it'll be really interesting by the end of the year when you look at the full resume of Texas, just how big that Alabama win was, if they can make a push for the playoff, what that looks like, when they get there.
Well, and I think on the flip side of that is looking at who else could have a loss. I mean, does Washington, after beating Oregon, do they stumble somewhere along the way? Does Oregon run the table the rest of the way? Or, you look at some of those other teams, Georgia, which looks beatable this year, even though they haven't lost yet, they look beatable in some of their games. I think if Texas is able to run the table, as you mentioned, and you've got a lot of one-loss teams, Alabama is still Alabama, and that win will outweigh a loss in October to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and you'll look at who they lost to also, and Texas losing on a neutral field with 15 seconds to go against a team that's probably going to be in the Big 12 title game and finish 11-1 or whatever their record is. That's what they will look at. And it's going to be, again, like you mentioned, Oregon's a great example. Their one loss would be at Washington. That's a great loss. Like that's a really strong resume if you're Oregon, but you've got to have that across the board. And Texas will have that, assuming they don't stub their toe the rest of the way.
Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin. Always appreciate the time, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Joe, did you notice he didn't bring up that I beat him 182-67 in fantasy football this week? I just want to make sure y'all know.
I don't even know that it was. I don't even know that it was that close. It was.
I've mentioned it, Bob.
It was a version of Cowboys 49ers, the fantasy edition
on steroids.
Yes. I mean, every one of your players had career games, and I had 3 guys that gave me less than 5 points that didn't even finish. It was brutal. The coach of that team has been fired. I'm looking for a new general manager. Everybody on my team is now tradable. I don't give a damn. Thanks, Bob.
That's good stuff. I love it. All right, we'll talk to you next week, guys.
Appreciate it,
Bob Ballou, who won't be joining us anymore on the Buyers Barricade guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. We talk some Longhorns. Let's talk some Aggies. Is there a farting fatigue problem?
There's a poopy problem
at Texas A&M. I mean, this is true. This is legit.
Yes.
With the new dietitian that they have hired, apparently A&M players are too gassy.
Well, and they're pooping their pants.
You say poop them instead of gig them?
Poop them. They're pooping their pants. There is visual evidence of that.
It's a crappy conversation. Next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, here in San Antonio, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning is Thursday night football. Jags, Saints. Will Trevor Lawrence be able to go? And Rockets, Spurs, part 2.
Yeah, the Spurs and Rockets are going, but can I hear Jeremy Sohan say something else? Yeah, Bezos football, we're talking that and a whole bunch of college football. Games that matter. They ain't sexy, but they're important. We're talking about it. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. If you have big dreams or big projects, we hope you'll consider Ewald Kubota. From small Kubota compact tractors to construction equipment, Kubota is a name you can trust. Or if you aren't committed to buying just yet, we have a full line of equipment you can rent by the day, week, or month. We can even deliver it to your work site. Ewald Kubota is committed to providing excellent customer service and satisfaction. So come by one of our 11 locations. We look forward to serving you. Or visit us on the web at ewaldkubota.com.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. 7 days a week happy hour, sports on all HD screens, and plenty of arcade games. With 5 area locations, North Star, Nacogdoches, Medical Center, St. Mary's Strip, and Thousand Oaks. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar has you covered for any occasion, catering to you and delivering San Antonio memories for over 10 years. Slackers, San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. Follow Slackers on Facebook for events and specials.
Hey, nacho fries are back at Taco Bell, and there's even more fries to love. But they're not going to hang around forever, so don't wait. Or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry.
Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Exergen thermometer medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. With kids back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Make Exergen thermometer the chosen thermometer for your home or business to check for fever, where accuracy matters. When measuring temperature at home and at work, use an Exergen thermometer to keep your family and colleagues safe. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
It's the Awesome Tickets Pro Football Pick'em Challenge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your shot at $50,000 nationally, while weekly winners locally get a $50 gift card to 5 Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks. At the end of the season, locally, the best overall record wins the San Antonio Grand Prize of $1,000 worth of tickets to any event from Awesome Tickets. Sign up today at sasportstar.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Live out at the SA Card House, 281 Bitters. Seeing traffic starting to stack, so just take the exit and come hang out. Rudy J's with us. And this is a story that I imagine Rob and Rudy are going to talk about tomorrow morning on R&R in the morning.
Yeah, fart fatigue.
Fart fatigue.
Yeah.
Headline: is fart fatigue to blame for Texas A&M's struggles? and look, as creative as this writer is, and let's see, Joe Kinsey gets the byline. I'm just going to read the first two lines because how can you not? The smell of disappointment and disgusting greasy broccoli farts are reportedly wafting through the air in College Station. Explosive allegations are flying across social media and Reddit, where investigators have been busy trying to figure out if a new high-fiber diet left the Aggies gassed in back-to-back losses to Alabama and on the road at Tennessee.
You know, that guy's very clever with his wording, but then you see the picture of the defensive lineman for the Aggies with a poop stain.
Yeah, he's got skid marks.
No, that's not. That's a shark. Can you say that on the radio?
You just did. Can you say it a second time? We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
You might get a strongly worded email.
But that's exactly what that is. And it's look, that's just excuses, I think. But, I mean, if you're looking at it, maybe they didn't have the energy to finish.
Well, I mean, you look at fourth quarter points this season for Texas A&M and their new high-fiber diet with their new dietitian. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter against New Mexico State, 7 against Miami, 10 against Louisiana Monroe, 7 against Auburn, 7 against Arkansas, 3 against Alabama, 0 against Tennessee. They're not scoring points in the fourth quarter. Do we blame Broccoli for that?
No, you don't blame Broccoli for that. I mean, look, that's just a team that's wearing it. Maybe they're not conditioned. I just can't imagine.
According to the American College of Gastroenterology, they can confirm that the diet that they're on is causes problematic belching, bloating, and farting. Quote, some carbohydrates cannot be digested by the enzymes in the small intestine and reach the colon where bacteria metabolize them to... Well, Rudy is all freaked out about this. But
broccoli's always been that way, right? It makes people gassy.
But it can make you gassy, but also cause you fatigue. I mean,
no, what the fatigue? I've never heard
what
that.
It says right here. You read the article.
Well, this
just
guy's
like
an
I
Aggie
am.
apologist,
Well, he's
man.
not an Aggie apologist.
That's all
It's
he
from
is.
the American College of Gastro BS.
Well, he's probably an Aggie doctor.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but people's got GI tract issues, and
okay.
but apparently those plane rides and bus rides must be brutal for
for
the Aggies. But they're blaming this new diet high in fiber of creating too much gas. And look, there's video of a guy, and they wear white pants, and probably little skid marks are showing through his pants.
And unfortunately for all of us, the camera was right on that.
Well, he's a defensive lineman, so his ass is up in the air, and everybody can see it.
It's a poopy pants. And look, maybe that's a new strategy for the Aggies. Just have everybody poop on themselves. Nobody want to touch them. You don't want to tackle them. You don't want to do anything.
Well, I mean, I feel bad for whoever number 3 is.
It's number 3. I thought we're talking number 2.
It's not. No, but he's wearing number 3. I mean, it's not about Johnny.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
yeah. That's a weird story, and please, that's got to be an Aggie apologist. That's got to be all that is.
I mean, there are Aggie jokes out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
But you wonder, though, because we know diet and nutrition is such a big part of college athletics. In all seriousness, could there be something to this? Now,
why has it never been brought up?
I mean,
before.
Fart fatigue?
Yes.
I've never heard of it before.
Of course you haven't.
I mean,
because it's not a thing.
Well, but apparently it is. Like, there are people that research this stuff.
Boy, you better get a new job. Can you imagine? Hey, or fart in this cup, will you?
Well, I mean, look, you've hired a new dietitian, and that's what they do.
I can't wait for Jimbo Fisher to be asked about that. Coach, anything to this fart fatigue thing you got here?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It's not a. That's please.
If anybody out there suffers from fart fatigue,
yes,
210-656.
And what exactly are the symptoms? You're going through your day farting, and you're just tired at 5 o'clock.
Well,
I mean, is that
whatever your fourth quarter is?
I guess.
Well, I mean, for look, there's another reason for me not to want to eat more broccoli. Why mix in more greens?
I like broccoli, and I got plenty of energy at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you got plenty of gas, too. I spent too much time with you in a little room.
Yes, I do. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Uh-huh. It's what it boils down to. And look, if you're why did grumpy-ass Greg Shelton, reach into your bag and pull out a 5-hour energy?
No, he didn't. It was right there. It was sitting right there. So, but yeah, I mean, that doesn't cause gas, does it?
No.
I didn't think so. But
I mean, broccoli does. Cabbage does.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's a real article. Google A&M fart fatigue.
This show's gone in the toilet.
My lovely daughter sent me a Instagram meme today.
Yeah.
It's 4:44. If you've got your kids in the car, especially if they're like 10, they'll laugh at this. But in October, it's always a spooky dookie when you go number 2 in the month of October.
A spooky dookie. Okay.
It's right up there with the D's Nuts jokes.
Spooky dookie. Okay, I can go with that.
Uh-huh.
Spooky dookie.
I mean, but if this is true and Jimbo is on the hot seat.
Literally. I thought that was called hemorrhoids.
What a crappy way for him to go out.
I'm telling you, man.
Because he is on the hot seat. Bruce Feldman from The Athletic has an article out where through his sources, coaches that are on the hot seat, and nobody is on a hotter seat than Jimbo Fisher because of another disappointing season. I mean, back-to-back losses. I still don't know how they lost to Miami, but the last two, the idea of 9, 10 wins, 11 wins for now, I mean, I think A&M realistically is hoping to get to 7 wins this year.
Couldn't they actually, what do they have, 6 games left, I think? So they're 4-3, so I guess they could still get to 10 if they ran the table, but I don't think there's anybody out there that would put $1 on A&M running the table.
Their upcoming schedule, I mean, they won't lose this week because they have a bye. But
you never know.
You know, they've got South Carolina at home, Halloween weekend. Then they're at Ole Miss, home against Mississippi State, Abilene Christian, and then at LSU to close out the year.
How does Abilene Christian get thrown in there?
You know, that's late season money game.
I guess so. Abilene Christian. Wow.
November 18th.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe those games, 5 of the 6 are winnable. I'm not sure they go to LSU. And you said that game is in LSU?
At LSU.
Yeah, I'm not sure they go to LSU and beat the Tigers, although that's turned into quite the rivalry.
It really has. Although, I mean, in LSU, I mean, could A&M win? The A&M team that played Arkansas could go play with anybody. Problem is, we haven't seen that A&M team consistently.
I just wonder, what saves Jimbo's job? Yeah, if obviously if he runs the table, I think it does. If he wins 4 of the next 5, is that enough to save his job? I don't know. They're 4-3 right now, so a 9-4 season. I mean that's average. It's good, I guess. A lot of schools are like 9 wins, but if you're an Aggie fan, is 9 wins enough?
Well, when you look at Mississippi State right now is 3-3. You know, as impressive as that Arkansas win was, Arkansas is 2-5.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't
exactly
so impressive of a win. South Carolina's 2-4. Who else do they have? Ole Miss is 5-1. LSU is 5-2. Alabama sitting up there 6-1. Their only loss to the Texas Longhorns.
Well, the Ole Miss team, their only loss was to Alabama.
Yeah.
So, they're a pretty good team. And if they're 5-1, and I have a hard time believing that. It's really strange because I saw an article today that there are folks at Ole Miss already, starting to chant and talk and whisper about Lane Kiffin. Can you imagine? Well, that's rich people problems.
I mean, they are. And again, I mean, Jimbo Fisher is going to be the beneficiary of rich people problems because, $67.5 million is what he's going to be owed after this season. And there are enough rumblings in College Station that suggest that the Aggies would have no problem finding that money to make him go away. The question that I always have when you look at getting rid of a coach and paying him $67 million to go away, who are you getting to come to College Station that's going to be better than Jimbo Fisher?
Well, I mean, there's a guy that resides here in San Antonio that might be on that short list.
And that's what concerns me is when you look at Jeff Traylor, who loves San Antonio. We know everything that Jeff has said about San Antonio. I think that's true. And I know they gave him a nice amount of money in UTSA to stay to keep him from going to Lubbock, but
not $90 million worth.
Well, that's it. Because, I mean, you look at what Jimbo's getting, the next guy's going to want more.
Well, you would think so.
I mean, Jimbo wins the recruiting battles. He's not winning on the field on Saturdays consistently enough. But you also have on Bruce Feldman's list on the Athletic of coaches on the hot seat, Dave Aranda at Baylor and Dana Holgerson at Houston. Now, Dana calls BS on being on the hot seat because his buyout is $15 million. And he told Sam Kahn at the Athletic, quote, "I have 5 years on my contract with an effing impossible buyout." So there ain't no effing hot seat in my mind. There just isn't. Tillman Fertitta could write a $15 million check to make him go away.
Boy, don't you think the Aggies wish that they only had to pay $15 million? I mean, that'd be done today. Well, somebody scribble a check for that today and say goodbye, Jimbo.
Well, and that's it. I mean, with a college coach, and you always say there's not enough patience with fan bases, and that is very, very true. But Jimbo has been there long enough got the recruiting wins. The NIL money is certainly there. There is no reason why you see a team like A&M get bullied, get pushed around like they did against Tennessee.
Right.
It's one thing for that to happen against Alabama because Alabama has that reputation, and we've seen it for so long. But that Tennessee team, they don't have Hendon Hooker at quarterback. They don't have those wide receivers that are in the NFL now. They don't have those offensive linemen that are now in the NFL. I watched UTSA play Tennessee, and watching what Tennessee was doing to a beat-up UTSA team, I'm sitting there going, the Aggies are going to smoke these guys. And Tennessee just out-toughed them. They were the tougher football team. And that is an indictment on A&M that I don't know that Jimbo Fisher can overcome.
Well, it's been a problem. I'm with you, though. I although it's a tough place to play, Tennessee,
Sure.
always has been tough place for an opponent to win. But those are the games that Jimbo needs to win, that the Aggies want to see him win. Can you imagine the conversation today is completely different if the Aggies had gone up to Tennessee and won that football game by whatever margin it would have happened to be? It wouldn't matter. We'd be talking about Jimbo wouldn't be on the hot seat, and things are back in Aggie land, and yada, yada, yada. So it's just you got to figure out a way to win those types of games, and that's just something that Jimbo Fisher has not been able to do. He just hasn't been. He's in his 6th year at A&M. And he hasn't been able to figure out a way to win those big ball games, especially on the road.
0-8 against ranked teams on the road in the SEC. And how many points did they get in the second half against Tennessee?
3.
Was it that many?
I think so.
That's the problem. They wore them down.
Well, the broccoli's to blame, obviously.
Well, and look, I mean, Tennessee literally knocked the crap out of A&M. You could see it on that dude's pants.
Yes. Can you imagine that dude? Wow. Now, I wonder if that was when he was in his stance that happened.
I don't need details.
Well, I wonder. Or if he was on the ground and somebody pushed on his stomach.
Somebody out somebody out there could piece together when it happened.
Well, I mean, I'm curious.
Well, I mean, how? I mean, you could piece it together, find out when there was a stain and when there wasn't, and you could figure out.
Do they have camera angles for that? I mean,
there's camera angles everywhere.
Everywhere, right?
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs have a preseason game tonight of importance because everybody is available for Greg Popovich tonight. We will talk about it on this Wemby Wednesday with Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, I want to tell you about Parkhurst New Vision. I'm really excited to tell you about Parkhurst New Vision because, well, look, I've been through the program, if you will. Had lens replacement surgery about 3 months ago, and it has completely changed my life. It really has. I can see things now that I haven't been able to see without readers or glasses in 30 years probably. I got tired of the readers, tired of forgetting them when we went out to a restaurant, having to flash my phone to read a menu. I don't have to do any of that anymore, and it's all thanks to my good friends at Parkhurst New Vision. 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. Look, they've got a variety of services over there at Parkhurst New Vision, like the lens replacement surgery I had. They also do LASIK, and they do cataract surgery, all of which are going to change the way you see the world. Look, you owe it to yourself to at least investigate. Go by, ask the questions you want answered. They'll answer them for you. And I tell you what, when you walk in there, they're going to treat you like family. That's what they did for me. Parkhurst New Vision. Check them out. 210-585-2020.
94.1.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Hope you got all that. If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, maybe your heater, you know there's one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899, 651-5899. If you have plumbing issues, call Quartermoon. They are experts at worst-case scenarios, even on a weekend. They were at my house a couple Saturdays ago when I woke up. There was water all over the kitchen floor from a leak in my kitchen sink. They got it taken care of because their service trucks are fully stocked and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And based on what I've seen on some social media, some of you guys have already turned on the heater, especially in the morning. Before you turn on your heater, you want to make sure your heater is ready to go for the winter months. And Quartermoon has great maintenance programs that ensures your unit is ready for every season. Call Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are one of the boldest, protein-packed, and low-carb snacks out there. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, you'll want to stock up on Southern Recipe small batch at your local H-E-B. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Find your flavor at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram here for the Angry Elephant. You know, as cold winds wash over South Texas and temperatures plummet into the upper 90s, it can only mean one thing. Aggie football is upon us. Whether this is our year or there's always next year, one thing is for certain. Aggies gather at the Angry Elephant. Aggie owned and operated since 2012 with ice cold beer, great food, comfortable patios, and a great big open garage door welcoming you to the sound of Aggie football. The Angry Elephant at the corner of 281 and Redland Road. Gig 'em and welcome.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author and star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, The Baby Boomer Dilemma, at 800-648-0303. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you'll get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call right now, 1-800-648-0303. That's 1-800-648-0303, 1-800-648-0303.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Wimby Wednesday. San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. It is still the preseason, but they're taking on the Houston Rockets. Maybe a little revenge for the Spurs in this one. Tip-off from the Frost Bank Center is set for 7 o'clock. Jeff McDonald with the San Antonio Express News joins us next. Texas Rangers, well, they've got a 2-0 series lead over the Astros. They're hoping to make it 3-0. Game 3 tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Here we go.
Day.
Hump Day.
Hump
We
day.
need one more.
Hump day.
Hump day.
What's with the new late kick?
I love that. I got room now to really
Guess
get
what
into
day
it. You know what I mean?
is?
Hump day.
Dude, your face is turning red. I mean,
Hump day.
poor Ava's over there looking at you like you're a freaking idiot.
She loves it. Look at her.
I don't think she loves
I
it.
made her day. She's laughing. I bet she hadn't laughed that hard all day.
I don't think that's a good laugh.
Doesn't matter. It's a laugh. She's in a good mood. She's laughing, smiling.
You have mortified this poor child.
I don't think so.
You know, bring your kid to work day. She was never going to want to do that. Yeah.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Hump
Jeff
day.
McDonald of the San Antonio Express News joining us now on this Wemby Wednesday on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Jeff, do you want to critique Ryan Eagle in his hump day?
That was just for McDonald.
I just feel like I parachuted into a zoo or something. I have no idea what's going on. The monkeys are flinging feces and everything.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Well, I mean, we were talking about that earlier because Texas A&M has a farting problem. Apparently, their new diets are causing issues with gas in their football team.
Jeff, have you ever heard of fart fatigue? Honestly, it's a true story.
I mean, I feel like I was like the pioneer of that. Like I was patient zero.
Yeah, it's a reason they don't serve broccoli in the media
exactly.
Meal room. That's for sure. Jeff, I mean, all right. Tonight's preseason game is a preseason game of interest because everybody is available for Greg Popovich. When you think about the lineup, the rotation, all the questions that we have, and what is Pop going to do with these players? And I don't know, Wemby, is tonight going to be a true test of what we might see during the regular season?
I do believe that's how they're going to start out tonight. The first quarter and a half. I mean, the first half for sure, and into the third quarter. I think if the starters make it to the fourth quarter, that will be kind of that's kind of the next step. The starters and the regulars, but I think this is the first time, like you said, all the guys you consider the regulars that are getting part of Pop's regular rotation in the regular season. All those guys are available. He's going to start the starting lineup that I'm going to assume this is a starting lineup we're going to see against Dallas when the season opens next week. And I guess that hasn't been unveiled yet. We don't talk to him in 15 minutes, but I think the signs point to. There was a math problem to start the season. They returned 5 starters from last year, plus added, Victor Wembanyama, who was going to start. So that's 6 guys. One of those guys that started last year is not going to start this year. And I think all signs are pointing to Trey Jones is heading to the bench, and Jeremy Sohan is going to be the quote-unquote point guard. And I say quote-unquote because nobody's really a point guard. They're not. It's all by committee. It's all who has the ball at one point. But I think you're going to look at Sohan, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Wemby, and Zach Collins. I think that's going to be your starting 5. Don't know that for sure, but we might know that in about 10 minutes or so.
You know, Jeff, when you look at this, and we talk about it all the time, and I know you do too. You've been covering this team for a long time. Pop really seems to have a lot of options, though, that if something's not working out right, it seems like he can plug some pieces in and experiment a little bit, especially early in the season. Is that the case as far as you see it?
Yeah, it's weird to say because this is a team that won 22 games last year, and they're probably, going to be hard-pressed to win more than 30 this year, but they have a lot of talent. Like, there's a lot of – when you think about your top – your 10-man rotation, you do that, and there's still like two or three guys you think, oh, those guys should be playing too, So there's always going to be somebody to be left out or not in the rotation, and that's going to be something to kind of monitor throughout the year. And you're right, if something's not going right during a game or during a stretch of a season, Pop's going to have a lot of different buttons to push. Everybody's versatile. I mean, when you can play the guy that started for you at point guard at a power forward last year, and you can make that guy your starting point guard this year, you have versatile players. And so I think that's been the key to the team that Brian Wright and his group have been putting together now for the past, however many years, is just guys that are versatile and can play multiple positions on offense and just play this free-flowing kind of offense that teams are playing now. But also on defense, just be able to switch and guard everything. I mean, if you just look at Wemby, You think of a 7-3 guy, oh, that's the guy that stands in the paint and blocks shots. Well, no, he's out there on the perimeter switching and guarding perimeter players and also somehow protecting the paint from out there because he's so big and so long and so agile. So he's got Pop's got a whole lot of guys that a whole lot of Swiss Army knives on this team. And that's kind of the way the game has gone over the past several years. And the Spurs have worked to put that kind of roster together.
Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Going back to the Trey Jones coming off the bench now, I was kind of thinking it would be Keldon just because he would add so much to the second unit. What is the thought process that you're hearing from the guys of having Trey be the starter from last year coming off the bench this year, and how is that second unit going to look?
Well, I think it starts with the fact that it sounds like just Pop wants to get his best five on the floor at the jump, and so that just leaves Trey as the odd man out. But sure. I could also see, you were right about Keldon. Like him as like a super 6-man and like a Manu Ginobili type role, he would be really good at that. And we may see that as the season goes along. But the second unit is going to be versatile too. It's going to be maybe a little more traditional with your traditional point guard running things in Trey Jones. But you've got Doug McDermott's going to play. I've really liked what we've seen from Malachi Branham this preseason. I think he's doing exactly what they drafted him to do and be that sort of instant offense guy off the bench who can come in and get you like just points in bunches, 6-8, hit 3 or 4 buckets in a row. That kind of guy. I think Chetty Osman's a guy that's going to be interesting to watch as the season goes along, how they play him. He's big enough to be like a stretch 4. Charles Bassey off the bench is another guy that you're going to look at to kind of anchor the paint. So they do have a lot of options there. And the other thing is, everybody knows this, but it's not like you play the first unit and then the second unit comes in. Like there's some mixing and matching between the units throughout the course of the game that's going to be really interesting to watch.
Jeff, you've been doing this for a while, covering this Spurs team. I'm just curious, how much different has this training camp been for you?
Well, it's a lot different because, the preseason games are fun. Like, that used to be the worst. Like, oh, there's another preseason game tonight. We're going to, Tim, Tony, and Manu aren't playing, and if they do play, they're just playing a quarter, and no one cares what the outcome is. Like, you can write that story. Like, oh, the Spurs lost the preseason. Like, who cares? Yeah, they lost the preseason game because, a bunch of undrafted rookies are playing in the fourth. Like, it's just boring. Those are boring. And now even the preseason games are must-see TV because of Wemby. Like, that dude's going to do literally 5 things a game you have never seen in your life. And maybe the Spurs lose the game. And by the way, Wemby's also going to do some stuff and mess up. Like, he's going to dribble when he shouldn't dribble. He's going to over-dribble. He's going to, take a bad shot, miss shots. But he's guaranteed, you're going to see multiple things a night. If you watch a game on TV or come to I guess it's called the Frost Bank Center now. Like, if you're going to see multiple things a night you have never seen happen in your life. And I've just, every game that he's played, which I guess is just 2 so far, you're just sitting next to these grizzled old, even older than me, writers and NBA followers that are just
don't make fun of Mike Finger that way. What a shot at Mike Finger. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And look, if you can get Mike Finger to smile, you're doing something impressive.
Seriously. And everyone on press row is just nudging each other. Did you see that? And oh my God. And we're the most cynical people on earth, old sports writers. Yeah. And we're just losing our minds at this guy and some of the things he's able to accomplish. So to answer your question, it's different because it's been fun.
And throw Tom Osborne into that mix of being wild because that guy literally has seen it all. All right, Jeff, you think about the 2 preseason games that Wemby has played in and what you've seen at practice. Are you starting to create a list of holy crap, did I really just see that? And what's at the top of that list?
It's every game, every story you write, or every time we do a podcast with the other EN guys, we spend half of it just recounting the crazy crap that we saw. I don't even know where to start. The players do this too, though. You'll go to ask Devin Vassell after the game against Miami, about the play where Trey Jones through Wemby and alley-oop. And at the moment Trey releases the pass from the top of the key, Wemby's still behind the 3-point line on the wing. Like you can't throw that pass, but you do at the 10. And it was the easiest alley-oop ever. Like it wasn't even close. So I was asking Devin Patel about that. And he's like, well, that wasn't the really good one. The other good one was the Euro step or the left-handed. Like the players are doing that. Like they all have their favorites. They're all like buzzing about it. Like the hype in terms of just the highlights is real. Like it's real. Like, and everybody knows it. Like there's stuff that, they've got to get together, but that part of the hype is real.
Now, Jeff, I know you need to run, but I got to ask you this question because it seems like Wemby has just fit in with this group of guys. Everybody seems to like. Is he that kind of a guy, team guy, from what you've seen?
Yeah, like from what you've heard and seen, he doesn't seem to big time anybody. If he came in and could be the, they're number one draft picks who can come in and big time you and kind of think they know it all. And from what I've heard and seen and heard from his teammates and his coaches, he hasn't been like that at all. It's been extremely coachable, extremely down to earth. Likes to hang out with the guys, off the court. They did a trip to Andretti's, I heard, which I trying to imagine Vic in a.
How?
I'm trying to imagine Vic in a Vic. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine Vic in a go-kart. If they make one that size.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that seems damn near
that
impossible.
sort of thing. He's been really he fits the culture very well. I'll put it that way.
And you're you're already just calling him Vic. I'm guessing you've already figured out how to type his last name without looking at it every time.
That's true. That yes, but Vic just seems, I don't know. I guess I'm picking it up by osmosis a little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Exactly. I'm with you. Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News. Make sure you're following him on Twitter, especially during a game, because it is always entertaining. Jeff, I know you got to run and get to Pop's pregame presser. Appreciate you jumping on with us today.
All right. No problem.
Appreciate it. Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. It's almost too good to be true, isn't it?
I've known Jeff McDonald for a long time. You have as well. Jeff is one of those guys that can be funny, but I've never really seen him excited. He seems really genuinely excited about the season and what's taking place and what's going on.
It's a preseason game in which Wemby is going to play. And as he said, starters, at least for the first half, maybe into the second half, we'll get an idea of what it will look like next Wednesday when they open the season. We'll talk more about it next here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
If you've been accused of a crime or you're being investigated for a crime, you want to have that legal representation that you can depend on, somebody that's going to take care of the legal process. Well, there's no better group than the LaHood Norton Law Group. They're made up of former prosecutors turned criminal defense attorneys that can help you stay a step ahead of your legal program. Look, they know both sides of the criminal justice system, and they handle all criminal cases, whether it's state or federal. Not to mention the fact that I've known Nico LaHood for a long, long time, and if you're in trouble, you want great representation, there is nobody better than Nico LaHood and the LaHood Norton Law Group. Call them for a free consultation. You can do that by dialing 210-797-7700. That's 210-797-7700. Look, the sooner you make the call after you've been accused, the better off you are. Call them, 210-797-7700, or you can get them online at lahoodnorton.com.
94.1 FM.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters. We've got a deal on window tint, and we've got a deal on car alarms, too. You got to get to Mother's Window Tint right now, because if you do, it's National Pizza Month, and we're going to give you a free 18-inch one-topping pizza from Sophia's Pizzeria. That's right. Come get your windows tinted. Come buy an auto alarm, get your stereo installed, and we're going to give you a free pizza. It makes going to Mother's Window Tint that much more special. All stores open Tuesday through Saturday in San Antonio, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. On the web at motherswindowtint.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, I got an idea. Go to Mother's Window Tint today and get your windows tinted. Buy an alarm system and make sure you get a free pizza from Sophia's Pizzeria while you're there. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
It's time for the fall haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the fall haul at Northern Tool. Back up the truck for the season's biggest event and save on generators, power tools, trailers, and more. Shop in-store or at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you to the front of the line. We're going to hype the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
That one always cracks me up.
He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Maddox at the SA Card House on this Wemby Wednesday.
Hump day.
Are you going to do that again? Are you doing that just for Ava?
Of course. She requested it. That's why. I mean, I wasn't going to do it again.
I don't think she requested it.
I thought that's what she said.
You've already made one lady leave.
Joe, it's nice to meet you, but would you do that hump day thing one more time?
I don't think that's what she said.
What day is it, Mike?
That's what it sounded like.
Well,
I don't know.
Do it again.
That's what it sounded like.
Do it. Let's hear it.
Set me up, Pledge.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Oh, one more time.
Hump day.
Hump
one more.
day.
Dude, what is that? I don't know, a parrot?
Yes.
For your entertainment?
Guess
yeah,
what
one more
day
time. Start
it
throwing
is.
some dollars over here.
Well, you're not a stripper.
Hump day. Well, I might.
Hump
Depends
day.
on how much money you throw over here.
There's not enough.
Oh, my goodness. I like Wednesdays.
I mean,
you got Danny Closa sitting over here, longtime head coach at Lee, now retired, nothing else to do but heckle you. But
Exactly,
he can't even heckle you with you doing Hump Day. You get Crash Gillespie sitting over there eating his dinner. He's a race car driver just trying to ignore you because right now he's thinking about trying to drive his car 140 miles an hour down the highway instead of hearing you say Hump Day.
No, he was laughing. He was entertaining the crowd.
He wasn't laughing.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
It's Hump Day. See?
Yeah.
Hump Day.
Crash, you got to do it a little bit better than that, man.
No, Crash, that's awesome. You did good.
Yeah, no, not really. Not really.
Dude, just because you're a curmudgeon over here, I'm not having a good time.
It's a Wemby Wednesday.
Everybody else is having a great time over here.
I'm having a great time, too, watching you make a fool of yourself.
Well,
Rudy needs another drink to enjoy that.
I make a living making a fool out of myself every day for 4 hours.
Dude, that's a promo pledge. Oh, that's it. That's a promo. Good Lord. What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Hump Day.
Dude, I'm humped out.
It hasn't even been 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Are you kidding?
Exactly.
Really?
Woo! I've been going 2 minutes over 4 times today.
He's got hump fatigue.
That's a record.
That hadn't happened in 30 years. Holy cow.
You're going to add in some broccoli?
Woo! Yeah, I got fart fatigue. These poor people are trying to eat over here, man. And you're talking about farts.
You did, actually. I didn't bring up the fart fatigue this time. But apparently that's one of the issues with the A&M football team.
Dude, that is such a made-up story. It's unbelievable.
It's a legit story.
It's a made-up story. And whoever published that ought to have their license revoked.
Well, I mean, it's from Outkick. So,
there you go.
Take that for what you want. But it's an article talking about the new dietitian that A&M hired. And they're wondering if their new fiber-based diet is causing a gas problem with the players, and are they running out of steam in the fourth quarter of games?
No.
Well, I mean, they're not running out of gas, but they're not able to finish strong.
I just think it's made up. Look, they're not very good. And so this guy's trying to write an article that says, hey, it's because of this that they're not very good. It's not because they just don't play very well. I mean, it's a made-up story.
Well, I mean, and to make matters worse, they wear white pants, and there's a guy that clearly had a little problem in his white pants.
Dude, that's embarrassing, isn't it?
That's brutal.
Who's number 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a Google box in front of you. You can probably look up the Aggie roster and quickly figure out who that guy is.
He needs to change his number to 2.
Well, it would only be perfect if he was wearing number 2.
It really would be.
I mean, and again, I mean, you wonder if Jimbo changes the diet, and you know how much nutrition plays a part. And, you know, most teams are heavy protein, a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, and they've got more vegetable, a lot of broccoli and Brussels sprouts.
It ain't working.
And you know what that will do to you.
Yes.
Right? And so, it sounds like a lot of hot air, but you got to wonder how much truth there is to this issue that they're having on. And just, could you imagine what it must be like on their team playing? Just remember to ask, remind me, because I'll ask Andrew Monaco when he joins us on Friday, how much truth there might be to this story that's on Outkick.
Well, yeah, I can't wait to ask him. But, I mean, it's like I would like to be in the press conference with Jimbo Fisher and ask that question. Coach, is this for real? Is this, this broccoli thing, and then you're going to change the diet? I mean, somebody has to ask that question.
Well, I mean, look, if you're eating that much cabbage and broccoli and you've got a gassy football team, and that's causing issues, according to this article, there are studies out there from the whatevers that say that there could be fatigue. You eat a diet like that, but your stamina could be affected in a negative way. That's a problem if you're a football team.
Yeah, it's always an excuse with Jimbo, isn't it?
Well,
we got to say he can't call play, so he brings in Bobby Petrino. That hasn't been any better. And now it's broccoli. What's it going to be tomorrow? I mean, seriously, what is he? Prostate problems? Something.
I mean, I don't think they're having a problem there.
Well,
in fact, they might be the speediest team when it comes to that, based on their diet, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
But again, I mean, you look at it, the questions about Texas A&M's football team are the same this year as they have been the last several. In some ways, it's almost like the quarterback of the Cowboys. I mean, Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, same kind of issues at the end. And what is the end result? Are you winning big? Are you winning big games? Are you winning in the playoffs? Are there Super Bowls? And for Jimbo, he's got the recruiting classes. They've got an incredible collective, so their NIL money is there. So why aren't they getting the wins on Saturday during the football season?
Well, that's a great question, and they can't beat a ranked team, right?
Not on the road.
Not on the road. It's a problem, and look, he's into his 6th year now. I mean, at some point in time, you got to look in the mirror and say, but he's not worried. If I'm Jimbo Fisher, would you be worried? Fire me and then write me a check for $67 million.
You know,
I mean, please fire me.
I mean, you wonder, in all seriousness, knowing that you have a contract with a buyout like that, where your give a damn factor falls.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jimbo wants to win. I mean, there's not a coach out there worth his salt that is looking at his contract and not worried about getting fired because of pride. Nobody wants to lose their job for losing. One of the reasons those coaches make that kind of money is because they're not going to keep that job very long. And how long are you going to be unemployed? But I know Jimbo doesn't want to go out that way. He's a competitor. But at some point, are you just whipped by your fan base, by your boosters that you're not making happy, and the threat that you're going to lose a job? I think that's one of the reasons why you asked for a 10-year contract when you showed up. You want me to go over there and fix those problems? We're not going to turn that battleship around quickly. So give me a 10-year contract with a ridiculous buyout, so at least I know I can go do my job without worried about getting fired. But at $67 million, there's enough rich Aggies out there right now that I think would pony up and make him go away.
Yeah, but then the Aggies did a real Aggie-like thing by giving this dude an extension. I mean, that was about as dumb as a box of rocks. Just horrible to do that. And in this day and age, look, if you're look at Deion Sanders. I mean, look at some of these coaches now that have completely turned football teams around in 1 year because of the NIL and the transfer portal. So obviously Jimbo's not using that to the best of his ability because it's just not there.
Well, look, he recruits are there. I mean, when you look at winning the recruiting,
he's getting the
battles,
wrong ones then, apparently.
Well, I mean, great players, but can you put together a great team and get the most out of them? And he hasn't been able to do that. He gave up or was asked to give up his play calling responsibilities, but yet you still have some of the issues. My problem with Texas A&M is I did not expect them to be a team that got bullied and pushed around by Tennessee. It's one thing to lose the physical battle against an Alabama, but they shouldn't lose that physical battle to Tennessee. That, to me, is the bigger indictment on Jimbo Fisher's team this year, is they got their ass kicked at Tennessee physically. And offensively in the second half, they couldn't score because they weren't tough enough.
Well, we'll see. Tennessee's at Alabama this week. If Alabama goes in there, or if they go into Alabama and simply get rolled and get out physicaled, then yeah, that's even a bigger indictment on what's happening at Texas A&M. I mean, look, Texas, Oklahoma, they're coming to the SEC. If the Aggies can't compete with those two, then they're in trouble. Fisher's in trouble. Whoever the coach is going to be in trouble. And they got to get ready for that. And I just don't think Jimbo Fisher's the guy.
And again, his buyout at the end of this year is $67 million. The question that I have, if you're A&M, who are you going to get that is better? Or are you just going to fire him, give him $67 million so you could just be mad at somebody else? Is there somebody on that staff that is capable of a promotion, or one of those young coaches out there, or is he sitting over there off of I-10 right now with an opportunity to come in, win over boosters, get his players in there? Because when you think about what Jeff Traylor has done at UTSA, it is still surprising that he is here And I know UTSA ponied up when Texas Tech was calling.
But you want to go to Texas Tech anyway.
He's a Texas guy.
I don't care.
I mean, you look at
he don't want to go to Texas Tech, but if the Aggies call, that's a whole different ball of wax.
Now
that's a different ball game. He jumps all over that because he's going to get paid $100 million.
It doesn't
he's
matter.
Jumping
Get better.
all over that. Love UTSA, but hey, the Aggies are calling. They've opened up the Brinks truck, and I'm gone.
I look at Baylor. Could be a spot for Jeff Traylor because Dave Aranda's on the hot seat. Maybe Houston, since they're in the Big 12 now. It could be College Station, although an Aggie buddy of mine just texted and said Dan Campbell. Now, with what Dan Campbell is doing at Detroit,
why the hell would Dan Campbell leave Detroit for Texas A&M?
$100 million, and that guy is Aggie through and through.
Sure he is.
And I can tell you, over there in our studio. And in the office that you and I share now, the guy that I used to share with that office with is a really good friend with Dan Campbell, and he's been in there a couple of times. That guy is Aggie through and through.
That's great.
And they've got enough money to coax him out of Detroit.
Well, that remains to be seen. I just don't think Dan Campbell, with the success he's having in the NFL, I don't see it. I don't see it. And obviously, he'd be somebody that the Aggies would want. I get it. Don't blame him for that. But again, Dan Campbell, I just don't see it happening, especially if Detroit goes on, makes a playoff run.
Sure.
Or maybe gets to the Super Bowl. Who knows? I don't see it.
Maybe. I mean,
I don't see it.
There's something about, when you're at College Station and you go through fish camp and they brainwash you that when they call you home, you have to go home.
The NFL is the top of the food chain. If you're successful there, why would you want to go to Texas A&M? Money to retire. I mean, just a light living. Maybe all of those things, but what he's done in Detroit is remarkable.
When I look at NFL coaching salaries, Sean Payton aside, right, compared to that of the top college coaches, you wonder why any of those guys, because there's no salary cap for coaches yet. The NFL salaries are nowhere near what the top college coaches are. I mean, there's a few exceptions to that rule.
Well, Saban makes what, $12 million a year?
$12 million a year.
I guarantee you Detroit will pay Dan Campbell whatever he wants if he takes them to where they want to be. He will. They'll match it. I mean,
we'll see.
It just depends on what he wants to do.
You ask for a name, you got a name.
My fear is it's sitting on I-10 at the campus of UTSA. That's my fear.
Doesn't matter. Get better.
And if it's not if it's not on the minds of the UTSA folks, it better be, because you just mentioned Baylor, who's probably going to have an opening. I don't know about Houston, but you've got some other Big 12 schools that are going to have openings. And if Texas A&M comes open and you don't think they're going to at least kick the tires on Jeff Traylor, you're foolish.
I mean, I might be, but at the same time, you know how the Aggie ego is. Are they going to go to a school like UTSA and pull their guy up? I mean, it was a surprise when Texas did that with Tom Herman. It didn't last very long. They want the name too. The name, the sexiness, all of it is got to go in there if you're going to pay that kind of money.
Do they want to win, or they just want a sexy coach? Because that's what they've got right now, and they ain't winning.
Yeah. $1 million question or $100 million question. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, you need to go see my friends at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Very easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. And you know Price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Good times once again in San Antonio. I appreciate you. It is so good to be home. I needed San Antonio. I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that I give you guys a fire lead in.
It's the Jim Rome Show, back in the Military City, weekdays at noon.
Hey, Jim Rome here.
Have a take, San Antonio, and certainly do not suck.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call BS on that. Come on.
It's the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
eBay Motors is here for the ride.
So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. And a tip for safe in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
O'Reilly. Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds offer big, bold flavors like sea salt and cracked black pepper, spicy dill, and Korean barbecue. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein, bacony crunch. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Learn more at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. If you have big dreams or big projects, we hope you'll consider Ewald Kubota. From small Kubota compact tractors to construction equipment, Kubota is a name you can trust. Or if you aren't committed to buying just yet, we have a full line of equipment you can rent by the day, week, or month. We can even deliver it to your work site. Ewald Kubota is committed to providing excellent customer service and satisfaction. So come by one of our 11 locations. We look forward to serving you. Or visit us on the web at ewaldkubota.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's the Mike McCarthy Show every Friday morning at 7 and 9 with R&R in the morning.
I'm all about winning. So when it has to do with winning, then it's part of our operation, our messaging, and our outlook.
A look at the Cowboys' upcoming game presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Live this Wednesday at an SA Card House, 281 and Bitters Road. A Wemby Wednesday.
Is it?
It's still Wednesday.
It's also a hump day.
Oh, that was weak.
It was.
That was weak. Do it again.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Can I do it any louder than that?
I mean, you probably could.
Some poor dude just pushed all his chips in. He said, "That's it. I'm done.
I'm out." I mean, Joe Reinagel driving customers away one at a time.
That's what I do.
Yeah, started at 2:04. Yeah, best looking lady in here got up and left.
Hey, we got a nice crowd in here. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's a great crowd in here. Everybody's having a good time on a Hump Day Wednesday.
Randall1 tweets in at Joe Reinagel 210 at Jason Menix at SA Sports Star. I shouldn't be driving listening to you guys. Almost drove off the highway. LMAO, hashtag Hump Day.
I'm so happy. You know, I
probably got a body shop to sponsor that if that's the case.
Right? Exactly. that'd be good.
Always thinking. Always thinking.
Always selling. That's a good thing.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Well, a lot of people have ideas on who the next is A&M should be. Let's go to the phones, 210-656-3776. Yori, you're on the Blitz.
Hey, guys, thanks
Yori?
for taking my call. So I was in Kyle Field when A&M was up by a touchdown over Alabama, and everybody was talking about taking control of the SEC West, and now we're talking about Jimbo's buyout again. If it's not Jeff Traylor, I think the answer is Mike Elko at Duke. He was a defensive coordinator in the COVID year when A&M went to the Orange Bowl and won. He knows the defense. He knows the scheme. He knows the town. He knows Texas. He'd be a great fit.
You know, and I know
he's done a great job at Duke.
Well,
for sure.
They're 5-1. Their only loss was a touchdown to Notre Dame. He cost me $100 in their season opener because I thought they would get rolled by Clemson. But I know, and he's an Aggie, right? And I do think that, and that might be one of the strikes against a Jeff Traylor is an Aggie understanding the culture. And I know he was an extremely popular coach on that staff, not only with the players, but with the boosters, with the faculty there. I mean, there are a lot of people not happy when he left, but he left to go take over a head coaching job, and they thought, Duke, it's a basketball school. And look at what he has been able to do in a relatively short time.
Look at Mac Brown at North Carolina. I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and look,
another basketball school.
I mean, and you look at, you know, Mac was at North Carolina, came to Texas. It was time for him to leave Texas, and he left the cupboard bare.
Yeah,
and you know, a couple of really good years on ESPN, and let's go back to the college game, and it goes back to, again, where he was familiar. You know, I think they went to go hire Mac Brown. I don't know if they thought when they hired Mac Brown that second time after his TV stint that it was long-term. I thought it was more comfort food to kind of get the program back up and then let him go retire, but he's still there, and he's doing well.
Doing a great job.
Back to the phones. Tony, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man? Tony?
Yo, Tony.
Great call, Tony. That was good.
Thanks for hanging on, buddy.
I mean, I think what you heard from that great call from Tony was just the silence of Aggie fans that don't have anything nice to say about Jimbo. And he apparently is the only one that would stay silent there. The next coach could be silent and get better results than what you're seeing from Jimbo Fisher. Why don't we use those phone lines at 210-656-ESPN to give something away? We've got tickets to give away to see Zach Sabbath coming up in January. Let's give him to caller number 9 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Zach Sabbath, a cover band, although some big name musicians within that band that have ties to Ozzy and big rock and roll. That's going to be a fun show.
I'm sure it is.
And now that I've kind of looked into a little bit more,
you want to go?
I do want to go. So I might see you down there at the Aztec Theater. Again, caller 9, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. My friend Rudy just texted, Tony was the best call in a year. there are some that wonder why we take calls.
I get it, but
I'm with you there. But I mean, that was a great call.
Yeah, people got to get it off their chest sometimes, right? And just say their opinion is valid.
Well, and again,
sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Well, and I think right now, whether you go and Elko, and again, Aggies understand Aggies, and I do think it needs to be somebody with a Texas A&M tie and somebody that's gone through that program. Is ludicrous as it sounds to say a Dan Campbell. That's actually not a bad option, and at the very least, I think that would be at the top of the list for Texas A&M to go try. Would he leave the NFL? I mean, most of us would say no way, but Dan Campbell, an Aggie through and through, maybe. It's almost like when Harbaugh left an NFL job to go back to Michigan because he was a Michigan man.
Yeah, but he wasn't very good in the NFL. There's a big difference there. I mean,
he coached against us during the Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell's a pretty good NFL coach.
Yeah, Harbaugh took a team to the Super Bowl, and you're going to say he wasn't very good.
Dan Campbell is going to get a raise after this year, or at least be offered one. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it's not as far-fetched as I'm saying it is, but Detroit's going to hang on tight. I promise you, just because of what he's brought to that town. You talk about a town that just hasn't, seems like ever had a winner. Even when they've had some great players, they just can't seem to win. And you see what Dan Campbell's doing with that football team, not only this year, but last year as well. They're going to hold on tight to his kneecaps. I promise you.
I mean, what was the last playoff win for Detroit?
Gosh,
was JFK president? I mean, you look at the drought, and I agree with you. I mean, but there's something about there's always that one place that can bring a lot of guys home, and if Dan Campbell, I would never leave this job except for one, it would be Texas A&M. Not saying that he would take it, but I do think that is where Texas A&M would start if that were the case.
Let's see here. The Lions last won a playoff game on January 5th, 1992.
Okay.
They finished the season that year 12-4. So they beat the Cowboys.
Of course,
38-6.
Of course they did. You're telling me
I didn't know that. I just Googled it.
The Cowboys were a playoff team, huh? When was the last time they won 2 playoff games?
They held Troy Aikman to 114 yards and an interception that day.
Well, I mean, but you think about it. I mean, that was the start of the great run. I mean, you go 1-15, and then you lose to the Lions. You say, well, hell, we can't let that happen again. I mean, to give you an idea, the last time Detroit won a playoff game, I was in the Navy.
Wow.
I mean, when did you say that was? 1992.
Yeah.
January. I was in Sarajevo.
Wow.
I mean, working a UN assignment for 4 months back there. I mean, think about that.
That's crazy. That's a long time ago.
Right? A lifetime.
Yes.
Lifetime.
30 years, right? 31 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
It's been a minute. And so, again, I mean, it's funny that you bring that up. And as Cowboy fans, we're talking about our lack of playoff success and everything that Cowboy fans, and I think there are a lot of fan bases that are long-suffering, but none that have the notoriety that's the Dallas Cowboys, the expectations that it's the Dallas Cowboys, because with the Cowboys, it's Super Bowl or bust every year, whether they should be or shouldn't be Super Bowl or bust. And you look at this year's Cowboys team, you go back to training camp, you look at the offseason, everything they had laid out. Homers like me, sure, or national people that generally pick against Dallas thought this team could be a Super Bowl contending team. 6 weeks into the season, they're 4-2, but they don't look anything like a legit Super Bowl contending team, right? You get a win against the Chargers on Monday night. Mike McCarthy had an interesting line in his press conference today, although he actually didn't have the line. He stole that from his defensive coordinator about winning ugly.
Speaking of the coordinators a little bit before coming down here, I think the description yesterday, I thought Dan said it best was, it was gritty. It just wasn't pretty, and so You guys like pretty, it's part of wearing the star. But the gritty part is to me that's our foundation, and that's something we need to continue to build off of. But we do need to clean some things up. The pre-snap penalties. It's we were in a highly penalized game. Last night for both teams, and I just think it's all part of growing as a team and being engaged in the ebb and flow of it. When they're calling it tight like that, you got to be extra disciplined. Particularly with your alignments and your hand utilization, because of the things that they're focused on. So just continue to find ways to be creative and be demanding and make sure we're stressing the right things coming out of this bye.
And I'm glad that he says that. And look, I give Dallas all the credit in the world for winning that football game. Winning in the NFL, especially on the road, is tough. So I will take nothing away from that win. It was a good win. It was a win that they needed. There were some mistakes, and they just don't look like their defense played a lot better in this ball game. So I'll give them a lot of credit there. But I appreciate Mike McCarthy saying, look, it's a gritty win. It's good. But we got a lot to clean up. They do. They know that, and they got some work to do over this bye week.
And gritty, not pretty. There's nothing wrong with that when you're talking about a football game. Now, that probably wouldn't work well on your Tinder profile, but for a football game, and I think he's right, though. As fans, media types, we want pretty. I say Dak Prescott played a great game the other. He didn't throw 5 touchdowns. I mean, but that was a gritty, tough, resilient win and play by the quarterback, Dak Prescott, who kept a lot of plays alive. And so when I say, right now, do they look like a Super Bowl contending team? Absolutely not. But they are 4-2. So they're still going to be in the conversation. They're a game behind the Eagles in the NFC East. And
the Eagles got a tough game this week. Is it to play the Dolphins this week? I believe they do.
Maybe. Yeah. And so when you look at it, though, you look at this Cowboy team nowhere close to playing to the level we expected them to. So if they can clean it up, if they can get their stuff together, maybe by the end of the year, you get into November, you get into December, they start hitting their stride with this new offense. And maybe, because as clunky as they have been, they're not falling so far behind where they can't catch up. There are some teams out there like Cincinnati that some early losses. Does that put them so far behind the hole that they can't trip up later, or, they're done in September because of their September?
Well, yeah, they've rebounded though, right? They're 3-3. Look, the Cowboys, the lot ahead of them. They've got a tough schedule. The toughest part of their schedule is coming up, and that's going to be crazy. By the way, I'm going to change the subject for just a minute. Matthew Tynan just tweeted that Pop got caught in traffic tonight, so he wasn't there for his pregame press conference. Caught in traffic. So one of the assistants is there and did not answer the question when they asked about the starting lineup. So I just thought that was funny that Pop was caught in traffic. Probably listening to you and me.
Probably.
I'm sure he is.
He's probably going, that dude said hump day again, and he ran, can we get one more hump day on the way out?
Dude, it's the end. Are we done?
Literally, it's 5:54.
Oh, wow.
So
we got a little playoff baseball coming in. Okay.
That's for Danny Closa.
Yeah.
He texted. By the way, Dolphins-Eagles, our Sunday night game here on 94.1, brought to you by Flight by Yingling. 6:30 tonight. Game 3 of the ALCS here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, Astros and Rangers. James Pledger with extra innings with Pledge will take you right up to the start of the pregame show.
Hey, before we go, though, I want to talk about Stevens Roofing. I really like talking about Stevens Roofing because, well, they're a local company first and foremost, a family-owned company, and they deal with everything that we deal with, right? They deal with roofs, but it's all about the weather. Whether you have a hailstorm, hot weather, rain, whatever the case may be, the folks that work at Stevens Roofing deal with that stuff, so they know how to take care of it.